from Depeche Mode and Maz and the Smiths, as well as some unexpected curveballs. If it's just enough to the left, it's probably on the alternate side. Listen live on 90.7 FM in New York City, on the WFUV app, or on your smart speaker. And if you miss it live, check out the show on demand at WFUV.org.
He really triggered me when he said curveballs, because it brought me back to that fifth inning in Game 5. But let's forget that. There's more baseball next year. Okay, speaking of that, we're going to go to track 5, and this is the song I tried to play for you a little while ago when there was a malfunction. And this is, once again, Rogers and Butler. Beautiful song they released in 2024 called Soho Fantasy.
Soho, where the glitter shines like gold. A young girl's heart is broken like a toy that's bought and sold. Laura of the city lights from the north to see the sights. Has a bed sit all alone and she walks the streets at night. It's a Soho fantasy, breaks a young girl's heart, robs her of her innocence, tears her apart. Nothing's as it seems in the land of your sweet dreams. In Soho fantasy. Last night in Soho, a hand now platinum blonde, looking for a new romance with the man with the money who can advance. Well, styles and trends, just use your imagination, 'cause she has a reputation and she loves the appreciation. It's a Soho fantasy, breaks a young girl's heart, robs her of her innocence, tears her apart. Nothing's as it seems in the land of your sweet dreams. In a Soho fantasy. Last night in Soho, the big dreams and high hopes. A fashion model aspired to be, just ended up on page 3. It's a Soho fantasy that breaks a young girl's heart, robs her of her innocence, tears her apart. Nothing's as it seems in the land of your sweet dreams. In a Soho fantasy. Soho fantasy. In Soho fantasy. In Soho fantasy.
From their 2024 release, Studio 3, that was Rogers and Butler with Soho Fantasy. All right, and in a moment we're going to go to Cliff Beach, but if you were listening a few minutes ago, I said that if you're listening to The Whole Wide World on your radio at 90.7 FM, we are going to go to Fordham University basketball imminently. Just hang on. But if you want to continue listening to The Whole Wide World, you can. We don't have to be separated. You can listen on the stream or on the app. So 90.7 WFUV coverage of Fordham University basketball is about to begin. If you'd like to continue to listen to music, choose FUV Music with our app, right? Because there's 2 different streams on the app. FUV Music is the one you want, and your smart speaker. or your smart speaker or at WFUV.org. Otherwise, enjoy the game. But if you're staying with me...
Rivalry games just mean more. The Battle of the Bronx isn't just another game for Fordham and Manhattan. It's history. The Rams and Jaspers are meeting for the 115th time tonight in a matchup that dates all the way back to 1911. In fact, there's been just 2 years since World War II where Fordham and Manhattan haven't squared off. But for the Rams, this game is important for other reasons as well. It's a chance for them to build off 2 consecutive wins, a dramatic triumph at the death against Seton Hall, and a thumping of Binghamton at the Rose Hill Gym in their home opener on Tuesday. Jackie Johnson has emerged as the star of this Fordham team, sinking the buzzer beater against Seton Hall and dropping a game-high 23 points against Binghamton. This Fordham team looks promising in the early going, and a win tonight in the Battle of the Bronx would keep this positive momentum going for the Rams as they continue to chase the basketball fever that compelled the Fordham community 2 years ago. It's Fordham against Manhattan in the Battle of the Bronx, live from Draddy Gymnasium, next on WFUV Sports.
From the Draddy Gymnasium in the Bronx, this is Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports. Tonight for the 115th time, it's Fordham against Manhattan in the Battle of the Bronx. I'm Nick Guzman alongside Chaz McAdams. Chaz, Fordham coming into this one at 2-1, coming off wins over Seton Hall in dramatic fashion, and then Binghamton in their home opener. Chaz, in a rivalry game, it's so important that Fordham keep this momentum going as we progress to the non-conference schedule.
Absolutely. We've talked about it previously on broadcast, Nick Guzman. When you schedule your non-con like this, so front-heavy with those 2 Big East matchups at the beginning of the season, it is necessary for your success to build momentum heading into conference plays. We head to New Year's Eve to get easy wins like this, as we're about to see here in the Battle of the Bronx.
We got a chance to sit down with Fordham head coach Keith Ergodes before today's game on Friday. Take a listen.
Alongside Fordham men's basketball head coach Keith Ergo ahead of their game against Manhattan College on Friday. Coach, first the home opener win on Tuesday against Binghamton. What'd you make of the Rose Hill crowd?
Yeah, absolutely awesome for the students to come out. It was exciting to see kind of the energy that the students brought, and our guys fed off of that, especially when they went on a run late. That's the most important thing, getting the students engaged and having that pride and that tradition built. We need to sustain that, and we got to do our part, and I think we did that the other night, and I'm excited about the way our guys played, the energy they played with. I think, the excitement of the type of basketball we're playing is fun for the students as well, so I'd like to see some of the other fan base come out and pack that place, but great start for the home opener for sure.
And then defensively, you guys were in that press pretty much all game against Binghamton, forcing 18 turnovers, really not letting them settle down at any point offensively. Just what'd you make of the defensive effort from your guys?
Yeah, I think our depth wore them down, especially in the first half. Fast-paced play, and in the second half, unfortunately, we fouled a little too much, and as a result, we stopped the momentum. They got a few breaks when they got to the free throw line and they caught their breath, and we weren't able to wear them down as much in the second half. I think they only had 7 turnovers in the second half, but that's the type of energy, the type of effort we want to play with on the defensive end. We have those athletes and our depth, and we got to use that to our advantage.
Talking about that depth in terms of scoring as well, I mean, Jackie again with the headlines with 20-plus points, but Zach Riley chipping in, tying a career high with 11 points, Matt Zona with 9. What'd you make of those guys' performance?
Yeah, I mean, we need everybody and we want to make sure that we get as consistent play from everybody as we possibly can. It's not surprising. Those 2 guys are some of the hardest working guys we have, and they've been voted captain for a reason. They're the heart and soul, and it's great to see them, reap the rewards of their labor. And the more guys we can get on the board and consistent on the offensive end, obviously with the defensive energy we create, the better we'll be.
And then heading into the game against Manhattan, what are some things that they do that might make your guys' life difficult against them?
Yeah, they're different than last year. They got definitely some more athletes out there for sure. I know the kid Devin Dinkins pretty well, transferred from George Mason, went to my high school. He could shoot it. Obviously, Bender just had 28 the other night. He's a fantastic scorer, and they got good length. They got good athleticism, much better speed. So, we just got to make sure that we're playing as connected as we possibly can, and we're dialed into our game plan. And it's more about us than it is about our opponent. That doesn't change really no matter who we play. So we've got to stay focused and continue the process of getting better.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Go Rams.
Welcome back to the Draddy Gymnasium, Fordham and Manhattan University, just moments away from tip-off. We have some starting lineups for you, starting with the Fordham Rams. Chaz, the same lineup we've seen throughout the first 3 games of the season. No change in the 4th game. It'll be Jaffe Medor, Will Richardson, Ramad Dean, Jackie Johnson, and Matt Zona rounding it out. Continuity, the name of the game here for Coach Ergo.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, the 3-headed monster of Medor, Johnson, and Richardson has paid dividends besides that Seton Hall game. But you haven't seen a team as lanky as this Manhattan team so far in your non-conference schedule. But again, a lot of teams like Seton Hall try to use the size advantage matchups when you're running a guy like Jackie Johnson the third at the 3. You know what I mean? You can create some size advantages that haven't been able to be seen by people opposing the Rams, which goes to show how much work that the Rams have been putting on the defensive end, not letting seals get open, not letting post entries happen. Very good all around from Keith Ergo's squad.
And for Manhattan, it's the same starting 5 they've had all season. Shaquille Bender, Jaden Winston, Will Sidnor, Messiah Gilliard, and Wesley Robinson. We're all set for tip here at the Draddy Gymnasium, and we're underway. Manhattan win the opening tip, wearing white, the ball loose towards the baseline, and the Jaspers able to gather in the front court here through Jaden Winston. Manhattan wearing white, Fordham in maroon. Out on that far side, Shaquille Bender has it. The pass inside, beautiful backdoor cut, and Wesley Robinson lays it up for 2. Manhattan on the board early. It's 2-0. Jaffe Medor will carry the ball into the front court here for the Rams. Medor the handoff on the far side wing for Will Richardson. Feeds the paint for Matt Zona. That's a turnover, though, off his hands. Back the other way comes Messiah Gilliard for the Jaspers, driving towards the baseline. Kick out to the far side wing, Bender. Handoff again for Jaden Winston, who'll circle back up top towards the Manhattan logo. Out on the far side wing, Bender against Zona. Bender drives towards the baseline, got a step. Bender, the righty finish. Beautiful move from Shaquille Bender. It's 4-0 Manhattan, a minute in here at the Draddy Gym.
Fordham's getting beat by backdoor cuts all day so far, 4-0.
Jackie Johnson up top for Fordham, commanding their offense, takes the screen from Matt Zona, moves to the near side wing, pops a long triple off back iron and out. Will Sidnor secures the rebound. Jaden Winston the other way for Manhattan, immediately past Dean. Dean with the block, the follow-up no good from Gilliard. He's got his own board though. Second chance no good. Ramad Dean with the rebound. Fordham survived that sequence, can go back the other way through Jaffe Medor. Medor looking to go all the way. His layup no good. Offensive board from Zona. His putback wouldn't go either. Rebound secured by Wesley Robinson with 18:25 to go in the first half. It's 4-0 Manhattan. Into the front court here is Jaden Winston. Watched closely by Jaffe Medor to the right of the Jasper logo. Pushed out to the far side, this is Messiah Gilliard. Swung out to this near side wing for Bender. Gets the ball screen up top, forced to pick up his dribble. Kicks now here for Sidnor into the corner towards the baseline. The drive from Winston. The layup no good. They go to the ground with it. Ramad Dean wrestling for it. That's going to be a jump ball.
And Fordham's just got to clean it up here a little bit defensively. That first basket, just an absolute monster of a backdoor cut. Missed defensive matchup on the head snap from Jaffe Medor. And then that second bucket coming from second chance points. Not normally things you see from a Keith Ergo team.
So there's 17:54 to go in the first half. 4-0 Manhattan. Like you mentioned, Chaz, a sloppy start from the Rams. Medor hands off to Richardson. Now Jackie Johnson straight away for Fordham. Johnson now on the far side wing. The beautiful feed inside from Medor. Kick out near side wing. Matt Zona's triple is short. Rebound secured by Shaquille Bender. Back the other way comes Winston for the Jaspers. Winston all the way, flips it up. That shot short off front iron. Medor back the other way for the Rams. Still looking for their first points of the day. That's going to be a foul on the floor. Jaffe Medor draws it. And Fordham will inbound here in the front court with 17:26 to go in the first half, down 4-0.
Yeah, and if you're Fordham, you need Matt Zona to make those threes. I mean, wide open. That's what he's out on the court to do. He's been getting more physical as the season progresses, looking like he's getting more comfortable, but still, wide open threes are the name of the game for the kid from Rockland County.
Richardson inbounds to Medor, who has it up top for the Rams. Jackie Johnson now on the near side wing. Johnson drives towards the basket. The contested layup, no good. Rebound by the Jaspers. Back the other way comes Winston to the far side corner. Bender drives on the baseline. Open here in the corner is Robinson. That's a three. Wesley Robinson drains it. It's 7-0 Manhattan. 3 minutes in here in the first half. What a start from the Jaspers and an incredibly slow start here from the Rams. Will Richardson with it in the front court. Goes behind the backcourt to pick up his dribble. Out to the far side corner for Jaffe Medor. Medor spinning baseline. The fadeaway from mid-range, he knocks it down. Jaffe Medor, who struggled shooting the ball early this season, knocks that one down. Fordham on the board. It's 7-2. Winston into the front court at the Manhattan logo. Jaffe Medor right there defending. Robinson now at the top of the key against Zona. Robinson drives, spins, the fadeaway, off back iron and out. Ramad Dean flies in and grabs the board. Richardson the other way for the Rams with Josh Rivera and Abdu Timbila waiting in the wings. Medor thought about a three on this near side wing. Gets to the lane, Medor, tough shot, in and out. Rebound by Will Sidnor. The other way for the Jaspers. Jaden Winston will settle things down. It's 7-2 Manhattan with under 16 to go in this first half. Winston pushed out to the far side wing. This is Gilliard looking to drive. Tough shot. That's going to be a foul called. Will Sidnor draws it, and he'll go to the line after we come back from this media timeout with 15:44 to go in the first half. It's Manhattan with the fast start. They lead Fordham 7-2. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports.
I'm Chaz McAdams.
And I'm Ben Oppenheimer.
And we are two of your hosts for On the Hill, the flagship podcast of Fordham Athletics.
We'll be talking about everything from football at Moglia Stadium
to hoops at the historic Rose Hill Gym.
Discussing the ins and outs of all Ram athletes, teams, and big games.
If you want to be part of the Ramily, then listen to On the Hill from WFUV Sports.
Hey guys, it's Will Richardson from Fordham Men's Basketball. You can catch all our games on 90.7 FM and the WFUV Sports YouTube page. And make sure to fill the hill this season as we celebrate 100 years in the Rose Hill Gym. WFUV is the home of Fordham basketball. Let's go Rams.
Hi, my name is Ryan Rucco, WFUV class of 2008. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One-on-One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
Welcome back to the Draddy Gym. Manhattan with the fast start in the Battle of the Bronx. They lead Fordham 7-2 with 15:46 to go in this first half. Chaz, not a great start for the Rams.
Now, blown defensive coverages, very fixable issues for the Fordham Rams as we see Josh Rivera and Abdu Timbila checking in for Matt Zona and Romad Dean. Fordham looking for a new look, trying to get some offensive spark here. Again, keeping the three guards out there in Johnson III, Richardson, and Medor. So yeah, you just got to get better communication on your defensive coverages, and you use your preseason first team all defense center and Abdu Timbila to get those kind of results.
Coming out of this media timeout will be Will Sidnor shooting 2 at the free throw line. Sidnor, the freshman, at 6'8" from the Bronx. had a double-double in Manhattan's last game against Mercy with 17 points, 11 rebounds, also added 3 blocks. Has been an impact player as a freshman. He misses the first free throw. Chaz is a Manhattan team, though, at 1-1 on the season. Got blown out in their season opener against Maryland, but bounced back with a win against Mercy. It was about as bad of a season as it could have been last year for John Gallagher in his first season in charge of the Jaspers. Manhattan went just 7-23 overall and 4-16 in conference play. Looking for better results here in year 2. Sidnor missed both free throws. Timbila able to grab the rebound and get it to Jaffe Mador. Mador to Will Richardson in the front court on this near side wing. He'll pop the deep triple. That's not close. Rebound secured by Sidnor. Back the other way, 3-on-3 for Manhattan. Sidnor attacks Jackie Johnson, but can't finish the finger roll. Johnson charging back the other way for the Rams. He's stripped. That's a turnover. The other way comes Jaden Winston with the steal. Winston now will pop the triple. Too strong. Timbila bats the rebound to Johnson, who can lead the break the other way. Johnson looking to go all the way here. Can't finish with the left hand. Timbila couldn't grab the board. It's last touch off Abdu as the ball went out of bounds on the baseline. It's 7-2 Jasper still with 15:08 to go in the first half.
Yeah, I think Fordham's got to relax on those on their play. Just play more poised, calm down. Is subbing out Jackie Johnson for Zach Riley the answer? Maybe so.
Jackie struggling early, but he struggled early pretty much in all of the first 3 games of the season for Fordham against St. John, Seton Hall, and then Binghamton. But then he makes one, and he seems to hop into life.
Fordham in a traditional man press here.
Something we saw pretty much for the entire game against Binghamton in their home opener. Not letting Binghamton breathe at all in that full court press. Rivera with the ball pressure here. They get it into the corner. Fordham immediately swarm, but they break the press beautifully. Devin Dinkins the other way to the far side wing. That's a triple, no good from Shaquille Bender. Mador back the other way for the Rams. Just 2 points through the opening 5 minutes for Fordham. Rivera to Abdu Timbila up top, push to the far side wing for Will Richardson, who circles back towards the middle. Riley now feeds the post for Abdu Timbila. Timbila backing down. Riley again on the perimeter. Outside for Mador. He'll pop the 3. That's good. Jaffe Mador has all 5 points for Fordham early. It's 7-5 Manhattan with 14:30 to go in the first half. The Jaspers quickly back the other way. Here they come. The shot off the heel. No good from Fraser Roxborough. He gets it again. Fraser Roxborough puts it back up and in. It's 9-5 Manhattan. Quickly back the other way come the Rams. Straight away Rivera. He'll pop a triple. No good off the side of the rim. Timbila, though, secures the offensive board. Timbila backing down in the post. Timbila gets inside, takes the contact, and finishes. Beautiful move from Abdu. It's 9-7 Manhattan. 14 minutes to go in the first half. Roxborough the other way for the Jaspers. Up top now, Jaden Winston will hold at the logo and settle things down. Watched closely by Mador. The feed inside here for Elijah Curry. Curry pushed out to the far side wing for Dinkins. Dinkins inside on Riley. The pass for Roxborough. Takes the contact and finishes and one. Foul on Abdu Timbila. Fraser Roxborough, the freshman from Australia, with the tough finish.
Yeah, definitely a rough move there. Late to the defensive switch. Ergo switching the defense mid-play to try to combat the Manhattan offense. And then again, you're just late to your spot by 1 beat. This is the D1 level. It's going to come back to bite you.
So Roxborough to the free throw line from Melbourne, Australia at 6'7". A lot of height out there on this Manhattan team. And he finishes the three-point play by draining the free throw. 12-7 Manhattan with 13:41 to go in the first half. Jaffe Mador into the front court for the Rams. Mador for Rivera at the top of the key. Handoff on the perimeter for Will Richardson. Richardson zips one inside for Timbila. Couldn't handle it. Stripped away by Curry. Another steal for Manhattan. And Jaden Winston can cross the timeline here for the Jaspers. Out to the far side wing. Shaquille Bender drives on Riley towards the baseline. Shaquille Bender throws it down. What a finish. 14-7 Manhattan. Zach Riley the other way for the Rams, but that got the Draddy Gym energized. Richardson straight away for Fordham. For Josh Rivera, top of the key. Rivera against Roxborough, drives. Rivera blocked away by Roxborough. Winston the other way for the Jaspers. Out to the far side corner, this is Dinkins. Inside for Curry. From mid-range over Timbila, he knocks it down. 16-7 Manhattan. 12:40 to go in the first half. What a start from the Jaspers. Fordham struggling here early on both sides of the ball. Zach Riley has it up top for the Rams. Now for Abdu Timbila on this near side wing. Tried the handoff from Medora, got blown up. It comes to Rivera. His triple, no good. Off back iron. Rebound by Winston. And quickly back the other way. Bender into the corner. Roxborough. His triple's good. Fraser Roxborough rattles it home. 19-7 Manhattan. I feel like Keith Sergo has to think about calling a timeout here, but he won't do it with the Rams down by 12 early. Medor from mid-range, off front iron and out. Rebound tipped away by Timbila. It comes here to Winston. He'll drive on Richardson. His lay no good. Riley secures the board. Fordham back the other way. Richardson spins, gets to the lane, can't finish. Rebound secured by Roxborough. Fordham struggling mightily on offense as Roxborough crosses the timeline and hands off for Shaquille Bender. It's 19-7 Manhattan, 11:30 to go in this first half. Bender moves out to that far side wing. Bender drives on Timbila. Applied the pressure, the shot wouldn't go. Second chance from Bender. Third opportunity, still won't go. Finally, Josh Rivera with the rebound. And he'll hand off for Jaffe Medor. He will settle things down here for the Rams.
Yeah, necessary movement here. Just got to get your offense, get into a better rhythm, and take better shots.
Riley pushed out to the far side for Will Richardson. Takes the screen up high from Abdu Timbila. Richardson for Rivera, top of the key, drives towards the baseline. Tried to get some separation and then missed the dunk. Went for the highlight reel slam, missed everything. Fordham with the steal though through Richardson. Bender was holding him back as he tried to break into the front court. It's going to be a foul on Shaquille Bender. With 10:49 to go in this first half, it's 19-7 Manhattan, not the start Fordham would have wanted at all.
At all, Nick Guzman. And as I think we're about to send it to the under 12 media, there's a definite sense of Fordham just not being able to fire on all cylinders at all. They need to click in, be cohesive, gel as a unit, and score in the offense.
So the score is 19-7 Manhattan with 10:49 to go in the first half, and we'll send it back to our Rose Hill studios for the one-on-one scoreboard with Sam Ortiz.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Some A10 action for you tonight. NCAA men's, we've got an in-state competition going, ranking number 20, Florida versus Florida State tip-off. Some NCAA women's, ranking number 3, USC versus Santa Clara. USC swept Santa Clara off its feet with a score of 81-50. Now, we have a Battle of the Boroughs in the NBA. Brooklyn Nets make their way to New York Knicks, tipping off at 7:30. And finally, for some college football, Texas and Arkansas renew historic rivalry tomorrow at 12 p.m. A clash of titans with 78 wins for Texas, 41 for Arkansas. With one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Sam Ortiz.
Welcome back inside the Draddy Gym. A fast start from the Manhattan Jaspers in the Battle of the Bronx. They lead Fordham 19-7 with 10:49 to go in the first half. Chaz, Fordham, it's a 10-0 run for Manhattan. Fordham has not scored in their last 3 minutes and 20 seconds. They're shooting just 3 for 16 as a team, about as bad of a start as the Rams could have imagined.
Yeah, again, and I think Fordham is giving this game away. Hate to be that guy and say all that, but there's just no way that Manhattan is getting these open looks if Fordham is playing the right level of defense. It's been blown coverages. We just saw a wide open three from Razor Foxborough. I need to see more. Again, I talked about it before we went to the under 12 media. More cohesion, a little more gelling on defense, and just some more communication overall.
Jackie Johnson.
Clear path foul for Will Richardson.
Good point, Chaz. Clear path foul for Richardson. Rightfully slow. He would have been off to the races, but Bender pulled him back. So Richardson will shoot free throws here. Fordham at this point needing points any way they can get it. Richardson knocks it down. Will hit 3 clutch free throws towards the end of that game against Seton Hall that kept Fordham in it for the eventual Jackie Johnson buzzer beater. Will struggled from the field so far this season, but has contributed in other ways on defense and in terms of assists as he knocks down both free throws. So now it's 19-9 Manhattan, and Fordham will have the basketball here.
As Jackie Johnson, the third, subs in for Will Richardson. The name of the game is just going to be who can score in bunches. You know what I mean? It's a nice little run for Manhattan, but again, it's very early in the game. I think if Manhattan wants to win here, they got to maintain the excellence they've shown on the offensive end. They have to be perfect, Nick Guzman.
Jaffe Medor with the ball here in the front court for the Rams. He has 5 points early in this one. Zona, the handoff again for Medor. Back to Zona, top of the key. On the perimeter, this is Jackie Johnson moving towards the near side corner. Straight away, Ramad Dean. He'll pop a triple, and he buries it. A huge three from Ramad Dean. 5 quick points from the Rams. And Medor with the steal on the inbound. Medor drives, can't finish. He tried for the dunk. It goes in and out. Riley fighting for the rebound. And it's going to be a jump ball here on the floor. 19-12 Manhattan with 10-17 to go in the first half. Medor went for the statement dunk there.
Yeah, a little Aussie versus New Zealand, too, on that loose ball with Roxborough and Riley. But you love to see the energy that Fordham got after that under-12 media.
So it'll be Manhattan to inbound again in the backcourt. And this is going to be a whistle and a foul, I believe, on Jackie Johnson before the ball could get inbounded.
Maybe a little encroachment there. You're not able to go over the baseline.
Winston gets it in here to Dinkins. Fordham still with the pressure. In the backcourt, Jaden Winston out to the far side for Gilliard, who can cross the timeline. Gilliard for Winston, off his hands, puts it behind the back, though. Dinkins in the corner. He'll try the triple. That's short. The putback is good. 21-12 Manhattan. Messiah Gilliard with the putback. 9:53 to go in the first half. Medor in the backcourt for the Rams. Crosses the timeline here, working against Devin Dinkins. Medor for Zona. Medor out to the corner. Zach Riley will try the three. Missed everything. Zona couldn't secure the board, and that's going to go in the direction of Manhattan College.
Yeah, again, this Fordham team, it's got to be better looks as Zach Riley subs out of the game. And again, you're going with that starting lineup back that you pulled so quickly as Coach Keith Urgo. Just let the guys get into a little bit of a rhythm because they have to gel. They have to.
Winston again to inbound in the backcourt with Fordham in their press into Roxborough with Medor watching him. Dinkins, and they cross the timeline here through Winston. Will retreat all the way back towards the Manhattan logo. Gilliard. Handoff up top for Dinkins. Bounced out to the far side. Into the corner now. That's going to be a triple off iron from Jaden Winston. Another offensive board from Manhattan. Gilliard couldn't come up with it. Matt Zona took it away. Richardson the other way towards Johnson. Zona up top. Johnson will try another long three off front rim and out. Ramad Dean clattered in for the rebound. And that's out of bounds on the baseline. Last touch off Manhattan.
Yeah, and again, the look there from Jackie Johnson. You know he's going to hoist those sometimes. And that's, I don't want to call it the price you pay because, again, they do have a tendency to go in. But you're willing to take those shots from Jackie Johnson because of all the ones that he makes. Cold so far, but again, he started all his games cold. He'll heat up soon.
Ramad Dean will inbound here underneath for the Rams. Flips up to Jaffe Medor at the top of the key. Medor drives. He got stripped away by Dinkins. The other way comes Winston. Blocked by Johnson. The putback slam by Messiah Gilliard. That gets the Draddy gym pumping. It's 23-12 Manhattan. 8:40 to go in this first half. Johnson straight away. Now Matt Zona. Pushed out to his near side wing. Jaffe Medor sinks the triple. Jaffe Medor, 8 points for him to lead the way for the Rams. 23-15 Manhattan. 8:30 to go in this first half. Dinkins into the front court here for the Rams. The long pass up ahead for Roxborough. Down low against Zona. Kicks to the corner. Up top again for Dinkins. Down low Robinson. Lost the handle. Medor saves it. Dean has it for Zona. Beautiful play on defense for the Rams to keep possession. Jaffe Medor pushing the tempo the other way. Medor for Zona. He'll pop a three. No good off back iron. Roxborough with the board.
Again, but Fordham looking at that cohesion. Love to see the block there from Jackie. Even though you get the putback for Manhattan, there's more gelling, there's more rhythm for the Fordham defense.
Far side wing Messiah Gilliard. The bounce pass down low. That shot no good from Robinson. It'll come for Dinkins on the perimeter. He'll pop a triple off back iron. And a foul called underneath. That's going to go against Fordham, I believe. With under 8 to go, that will take us to our under 8 media timeout. 7:37 to go. It's 23-15 Manhattan. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Michael Kay, WFUV class of 1982. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One on One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
Welcome back inside the Draddy Gym. Manhattan with a 19-12 lead over Fordham in the Battle of the Bronx with 10:23 to go in the first half. I'm Nick Guzman alongside Chaz McAdams. Chaz, coming out of that last media timeout, a little better for Fordham, going on a quick little 5-0 run, but then Manhattan coming immediately back and getting those points right back.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 23-15 game, 8 points. Again, very early, very winnable game for Fordham, but you just have to be in more control. If you're in the Rams, you are too good and too talented to be down 8 to a Manhattan team that frankly shouldn't even be able to hang with you through the under 12, let alone the under 8 media. So I think Fordham, again, I keep saying this, but it's you just have to tighten up. You got to lock in, because offensively, you need better looks. You need looks in the flow of the offense. Defensively, you need better communication, and you can't keep letting up offensive rebounds.
23-15 Manhattan, 7:37 to go in the first half. Manhattan to inbound underneath the basket. 20 seconds on the shot clock for the Jaspers. There was a loose ball foul that sent us into that last media timeout. Inbounding underneath is Messiah Gilliard, looking for an option, gets it in there towards Wesley Robinson in the far side corner. Straight away here for Devin Dinkins. Dinkins at the Manhattan logo for Fraser Roxborough. Handoff for Dinkins, stolen away by Will Richardson, trying to get a handle on it. Josh Rivera finally will. Richardson on the near side wing. Cross-court pass for Jackie Johnson. Johnson gets to the lane, the righty leg, he finally gets it to go. Jackie Johnson on the board. 23-17 Manhattan, 7 minutes to go in this first half. Dinkins the other way for the Jaspers. Working against Will Richardson. Dinkins drives, goes behind the back. Handoff on the perimeter for Roxborough. This is now Winston against Rivera. The double team with Timbila, able to get it inside. Stolen away by Ramad Dean. Up ahead for Josh Rivera. Able to get to it in the front court. He'll slow down as Fordham come here with Jackie Johnson at the Manhattan Jasper logo. It's a 23-17 Manhattan lead with 6:30 to go in this first half. Will Richardson on the far side wing. Bounce pass to Josh Rivera in the lane. Spins in a double team. Rivera called for the travel. That's going to be another turnover on the Rams.
Very unfortunate travel there out of Josh Rivera. Little contact before, but you got to play through it if you're in there. If you're not going to be able to take the call. Fordham going for the press off of the miss. Sagging back a little bit.
They'll retreat here with 6:20 to go in the first half. It's a 6-point lead for the Jaspers. Dinkins here for Sidnor. Fordham again trying to get that double team going. Bender in the near side corner. Kick out up top for Dinkins. Fordham in his zone here. Pressure from Dean and Rivera. Dinkins to Bender. He'll pop the triple. Off back iron and out. Rebound Jackie Johnson. Will push the tempo the other way for the Rams. Johnson got inside on Dinkins, and Devin Dinkins whistled for the foul.
Is that continuation there? Are they looking to shoot for the Rams?
Looks like it'll be a side-out inbound for Fordham here.
I don't know. I mean, he's getting into his, like he picked up his dribble, getting into his shot there, but, I mean, college, no continuation. It's understandable.
Josh Rivera inbounds in front of the Manhattan bench for Jackie Johnson straight away. 2 steps to the left of the Manhattan logo. The screen up top from Tim Dila. Top of the key, Ramad Dean will pop the triple, no good. Josh Rivera, the offensive rebound. Again, outside for Johnson. Another 3. Off front iron and out. Tim Dila fighting for the board. He's going to get called for the foul underneath.
Over the back there. As the ball's going up. Called a 50-50. I mean, the Manhattan guy got his hands on it. I don't know about that. I don't know about all that. Nick Guzman. Soft call.
5:35 to go in the first half, 23-17 Manhattan.
And a 1-3-1.
1-3-1 zone for Fordham here. Gilliard with it on the far side wing. Strogway here for Sidnor. Back out to the Manhattan logo for Devin Dinkins. Dinkins driving right past Richardson and Timbila into the corner. The three from Robinson, no good. Richardson grabs the rebound. Back the other way, Will Richardson to the far side corner. Johnson open, fake the three. He'll pull up from mid-range and knock it down. 23-19 Manhattan now. 5 minutes to go in the first half.
Fordham just maintaining momentum. Josh Rivera here at the top of that 1-3-1.
Dinkins to Gilliard on this near side. Fordham applying the pressure up high through this 1-3-1 zone. Dinkins. Gilliard straight away. Open here on the wing. Shot no good from Bender. Offensive board from Robinson. Feeds inside. The open layup missed from Gilliard. The third opportunity goes for Will Sidnor.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard getting into that 1-3-1, which is such a distinct defensive identity. And then the second a shot goes up, you got to get back in that man mentality and get a body on someone, box out.
25-19 Manhattan. Josh Rivera has it on the near side wing for the Rams. 4:15 to go in the first half. He feeds Abdu Timbila backing down in the post. Timbila makes his move, looking for space. Timbila pumps, stripped away by Sidnor. Back the other way come the Jaspers. The bounce pass, Sidnor with the slam. Will Sidnor slams it down. 27-19 Manhattan, under 4 to go in the first half.
If you pay attention up top of the scoreboard, 5 fouls for Fordham. Manhattan with about to go into the under 4 media, already in the single bonus.
Jackie Johnson with it up high for the Rams. The screen from Abdu Timbila. Jackie will pop another three. This one he buries. Jackie Johnson knocks it down. 27-22 Manhattan. It's back to 5.
That's why you leave Jackie Johnson out there on the floor. I know the misses are bad, but the makes are so good.
Dinkins gets that pass over Rivera to Gilliard on this near side wing. Over Rivera again towards Dinkins on the far side. In the corner, that's a triple off back iron from Bender. Timbila right there to secure the board. All that's gone wrong in this half, Chaz. Shows a 5-point game with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Will Richardson on the far side wing for the Rams. The bounce pass up high for Josh Rivera. Now Jackie Johnson makes his move, tries to squeeze inside, got bumped by Wesley Robinson. With under 3 to go here, 2:52, that will take us to the under 4 media timeout. It's Manhattan 27, Fordham 22, and we'll send it back to our Rose Hill studios for the one-on-one scoreboard with Sam Ortiz.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
For some women's hoops, we've got number 2 UConn takes the lead versus number 13 UNC, scoring 61-50 in the final quarter. For some men's hoops, we've got number 17 Cincinnati versus Nichols, since starting off strong for the first half with a score of 23-12. Now, for some college football, Utah at number 18. Colorado fans can expect a high-stakes battle at 2 powerhouse programs for bragging rights and a game steeped in tradition. Back at Nets versus Knicks, and at an at-home game for the Knicks. Will the Knicks do what they got to do for a record of 5-6? With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Sam Ortiz.
Back inside the Draddy gym, it's Nick Guzman here alongside Chaz McAdams with 2:52 to go in the first half here in the Battle of the Bronx. It's Manhattan 27, Fordham 22. The Rams have really struggled from the field in this one, but they picked it up recently. Still just a 5-point game, Chaz, despite all that's gone wrong for the Rams in this one.
Yeah, definitely that's a silver lining to looking at Nick Guzman. In my eyes, it's just like, why is all that going wrong versus his opponent? I mean, you got Georgian court next to you. I know it's already looking ahead, but with a non-con like this, you're always looking ahead. You got Georgian court on Tuesday. A team like Drexel on that
it's going to be
Friday,
a tough game next
You know
Friday.
what I mean? Is not a team that lets you be within 5 with the mistakes that you've been making so far on the offensive and defensive end. A lot of open threes missed by Manhattan. Lot of shots that other teams are going to hit, not going in for the Jaspers. So Fordham's gotten off scot-free, honestly. Some lucky breaks for the Rams. Hopefully they can turn it around here.
Definitely fortunate to be within 5. Will Richardson will inbound to Jackie Johnson straight away in the front court for the Rams. Johnson drives left, goes behind the back. Now we'll go towards the basket. Johnson, the lefty leg, gets it to go again. Quick move from Jackie Johnson. It's a 3-point game here. Jaden Winston carrying the ball up ahead for the Jaspers. Fordham back in man-to-man defense. Winston hands off on the far side for Gilliard. Now Dinkins takes it straight away. Pushed out further for Robinson on the far side wing. Sidnor straight away against Medor. Sidnor forced to pick up his dribble. Winston with 5 to shoot. Winston drives. The righty shot in the lane is good. Beautiful shot from Jaden Winston. 29-24 Jaspers. 2:05 to go in the first half.
Yeah, you hate to see that. Shot clock winding down. You're begging for a violation, and then it doesn't pay off.
The long 3 from Johnson off front rim and out. Zone of the offensive board. Kicks out to Richardson. His triple off back iron and out. Flying in for the rebound is Mosiah Gilliard. And Manhattan survived those 2 3-point attempts from the Rams. 1:45 to go in the first half. Manhattan by 5. Winston drives on Richardson to this near side wing. Sidnor's 3 off back iron and out. Richardson with the rebound. And he'll carry ahead for Fordham. Richardson, the crossover on the perimeter. Gets to the lane. Tried to go underhand. That's blocked away. Will trying to keep it. He does at the baseline. Zona up high. Medor now. Lost the handle. There's 13 for the Rams to shoot. Jaffe Medor on the far side wing. Step back 3 from deep. Off front rim and out. Rebound Mosiah Gilliard pushing the pace the other way for Sidnor. Tried to shove it down on Medor. He's called for the foul. The dunk wouldn't go, but 2 shots coming for Will Sidnor.
That's a great foul there from Jaffe Medor. You know what I mean? Honestly, body contact there. I could see a blown call happen in a pretty exciting moment. He could have got to the peak of the ball there on a player that is about twice his size in Will Sidnor. So you love to see the effort there from Medor. Obviously, the offensive leader today, Jackie Johnson, again, finding his mold, slowly going into his role as the go-to guy. Sidnor not reliable from the line. All around great foul there from the kid out of Florida.
2 shots coming from Sidnor. First free throw, no good. He's 0 for 3 from the line so far today.
Doing his best Fordham impression.
But he's shown off his athleticism.
Yeah, definitely.
He's got hops, the freshman, at 6'8", a product from the Bronx. There's 1:06 to go in this first half. It's Manhattan 29, Fordham 24. Sidnor, second free throw, gets that one to go. Jaspers by 6.
If you're Fordham, you got to look to close up this lead, get at least a 1-score game going into the half. 1 minute to go.
Medor across the Manhattan logo. Jackie Johnson now on the near side wing for the Rams. Makes his move towards the basket. Got a step. He's fouled from Wesley Robinson as Jackie went up to shoot. That'll be 2 free throws coming.
Love that move from Jackie, you know what I mean? Clearing out the defense, his ability to attack and just slice up a defense. Mighty Mouse all the way. You know, size does not matter when it comes to Jackie Johnson being able to just get through a defense no matter how hard he tries.
That first step on the perimeter is so quick, and the fact that he's not shy about pulling that deep 3 either makes it that much more difficult to defend.
Yeah, I mean, he's a scorer at 3 levels, as we saw, not afraid to get creative offensively, not afraid to distribute. As far as point guards go, you kind of love to see that if you're Keith Ergo, who has only really as a head coach had score-first point guards. And I think Jackie Johnson is a perfect example of a guy that takes up the ball but isn't afraid to do something with it.
So Jackie misses the first, makes the second. He goes 1 for 2 from the line. That makes it 30-25 Manhattan. There's 55 seconds to play here in the first half. Fordham will resume their full-court pressure here. It's going to be Winston to try to inbound the ball for the Jaspers. Ramad Dean applying the pressure on the ball. Winston gets it in here. Advancing is Gilliard across the timeline. Crossover on Richardson. Gilliard the feed. Sidnor again goes up and finishes. Will Sidnor showing off the athleticism. Manhattan by 7 with 40 seconds to go in the first half. Timeout called by Keith Ergo. 39.2 on the clock. The Jaspers with the 7-point lead here. Will Sidnor showing off the athleticism.
Yeah, definitely. Keith Ergo here, probably looking to draw something up, maybe get a score. in these first 8 seconds, because maybe you go for a 2-for-1, if you go for like a really quick hitter set and force Manhattan to play with 35 seconds on the game clock rather than 32, 31, you could maybe progress the ball, get one more offensive possession down on that end, and again, make this a one-score game. Still a 7-point lead for Manhattan is just absurd with the talent gap that these two teams have.
And if Fordham thought this game was going to be easy, considering they blew out Manhattan last year in the Battle of the Bronx, this game has been anything but. Fordham in a dogfight here, down by 7. Manhattan team that comes into this one at 1-1, which struggled so mightily last season, and a lot of the same guys still on this Manhattan team that won just 7 games last year.
Exactly.
Fordham will inbound here on the near side coming out of the timeout. There's 39.2 on the game clock, 26 on the shot clock. Richardson inbounds to Jaffe Medor all the way to the backcourt. Fordham going slow here. Medor,
yeah, I guess they're not going for the 2-for-1.
Medor in no hurry. There's 15 on the shot clock, 26 on the game clock. Medor, far side wing. Jackie Johnson thought about a deep 3. Fordham have to go here with 8 seconds. Rivera, Medor, he's open for 3. He buries it. A huge 3-pointer from Jaffe Medor. 32-28 Manhattan. Shot clock turned off. There's 12 seconds left. Winston into the front court. 8 to go as he works on Richardson. Winston with 5, circles towards the baseline with 3. The feed inside, Sidnor couldn't handle. 1 second to go. Jackie Johnson with the steal, and that will do it for the first half here from the Draddy Gym in the Battle of the Bronx. Manhattan 32, Fordham 28. Chaz, all things considered, I'd say Fordham pretty fortunate to be within 4.
Yeah, you love that defensive possession too at the end there. Almost getting the steal off in time to maybe hoist a half court, do your best Payne Pritchard impression, try to make it a 1-point game. But you like to see how Fordham closes. Keith Ergo's going to have a lot to say in that away locker room here at the Draddy Gym. So if I'm Keith Ergo, I'm thinking, again, locking up defensively. The 1-3-1 clearly wasn't executed all the way to perfection. There's room for improvement there. Man coverage has been your best bet so far. The press has also looked sloppy a few times. Abdus Mbila, Matt Zona, both missing coverages there, so you look to improve on that end. And I think it's just you have all the pieces there. You know, you're doing all the right things, making all the right moves. It's just the little details that you got to execute on to really balloon this lead. And again, Fordham has been a second half team so far this season, as bad as I think that descriptor is for a college basketball squad. So they're definitely going to look to balloon this in the second half, get the lead, and just get as much space between them and Manhattan as possible.
So we've hit the half here at the Draddy Gym in the Battle of the Bronx. Manhattan 32, Fordham 28. We'll send it back to our Rose Hill studios for the one-on-one halftime report with Jack Warner.
The one-on-one halftime report.
Thank you, Nick and Chaz. Welcome into the one-on-one halftime report. I am Jack Warner, joined alongside by Samantha Ortiz. We have reached the halfway point of the Battle of the Bronx, and it is currently Manhattan in the driver's seat by a score of 32-28. Now, we do have plenty to unpack from this first half, but first of all, I do want to show some love to my co-host, Samantha Ortiz, making her on-air debut for WFUV Sports on the radio. So I want to kind of unpack before we get into too much with the game, they mentioned some really cool facts before the game started, just about all the history, because obviously we do go to a pretty old school. Fordham's been around for a pretty long time. The Battle of the Bronx, this is the 115th meeting between these two teams, and while, yes, the institution we are playing against is titled the Manhattan Jaspers, they do, in fact, reside in the Bronx. So I think it's really cool to see a rivalry game, which we've been now, documenting since 1911, taking place between, our respective schools today.
Yeah, thank you, Jack, for the warm and lovely welcome. This history goes back. I mean, like you said, we go to our school. It does have a long history with this. But one thing that I keep hearing is sloppy scores. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but I love those 3-pointers, and I need them to keep it coming. I think Japhet Medor, I think he's warming up and he's doing what he's got to do. I think if he keeps up the pace, we'll be okay. You know, our record is 2-1. Let's hope that our ego takes us as far as we can get.
No, and that is one of the realities that you run into when you're in a basketball game, and it's not, you know, things aren't exactly flowing your way with, you know, shots from behind the arc. Is, do you decide, do we cut these off immediately and force more stuff into the paint and go, or do we make the decision to keep trusting with our gut and keep, you know, trying for those shots and hoping they do eventually fall? Now, before we hop into the game, I think it's worth noting that these two teams, I think this is a very special matchup this year specifically too, because even though we're only this is only the third game of the season for Manhattan. It's the fourth for Fordham. And even in such a short time into the season, these teams are in very similar places. They both kick off the season with a pretty humbling defeat. You know, Fordham loses their season opener to St. John's. Manhattan loses their season opener to Maryland, both in pretty blowout fashion, and it was probably to be expected. It was two pretty outmatched opponents, a lot stronger opponents. Fordham does have that intense victory over Seton Hall the next game, so that's, you know, not obviously comparable between the two, but then each team is coming off a pretty dominant victory themselves. You had Fordham in their home opener earlier this week, winning 78-63, a nice little double-digit victory over Binghamton. But you also had Manhattan delivering a double-digit victory of their own to Mercy University. So I also think it speaks volumes to how good of a matchup we have in front of us today. Not only is it a rivalry game, not only is it, you know, two teams that are fighting for the Battle of the Bronx, but you're seeing two squads come out to play tonight that are really coming off similar vibes going into this game. They're both coming off a feel-good victory. They've also learned from a pretty blowout victory. So it's very interesting to see, I think, how evenly matched these teams were coming into this game.
Right. I hope that our team isn't as headstrong because we are so evenly matched. I think what you said is completely correct. And I think if they just keep it pushing, we can really get this one. And I know that since we're at home and our Rams love to show up and show out, then hopefully it'll give them some oomph, if you know what I mean.
Right. So let's, you know, get a little more into the game. Really sloppy start for Fordham. Turnovers galore, missed shots, giving up really, you know, preventable backdoor cuts to Manhattan that obviously gave them some very easy scoring opportunities. You saw a 7-0 run to start the game for Manhattan. So Fordham obviously started this game, you know, behind, you know, obviously having to dig themselves out of a hole. And the one thing that Nick Guzman said, our great play-by-play commentator, he said, you know, around probably the 5-minute mark or so, was he said, we're lucky that it's a 5-point game. Was that? No, I'm sorry. Definitely fortunate to be within 5 was how he said it. And I think that really puts a bow on it that, you know, I don't know if Fordham is supposed to be this close into the game. They've forced up a lot of bad shots. They've really been kind of frantic. Chaz McAdams, our color guy, made a very great point that earlier in the game, it felt like they're just doing wind sprints back and forth down the court and forcing up shots too quickly. They are playing a very tense style of basketball, and that's usually not conducive to success. So I think really the biggest thing looking forward into the second half is if what we saw, and obviously they start to heat up a little bit as the half, you know, it comes to a close. Jackie Johnson starts to find his groove, but I think the fact that you saw all the miscues and just sloppy play in the first half from Fordham, and they're only down 4 points right now, I really think that this game belongs to them. All they have to do is do the right things in the second half, clean things up, not play as tense, not force up bad shots, you know, give themselves a little more time to take care of the basketball. I really think that they are in a position now where things could be a lot worse, and this second half is theirs to take.
I completely agree. I think pacing is everything. I mean, when you look at the play-by-play, Jackie Johnson, he did miss that three-pointer. Like I said before, those are important. At least to me, they are. So I assume what you're saying is that pacing is important, and it could lead to burnout if they continue to go as sloppy as they are right now. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, I mean, again, basketball is a very, you know, back and forth game, and you know, I think the big thing with them, again, was just more their shot selection. It seemed like once they're getting to the other side of the floor, they're getting rebounds, they're doing what they need to do, and also they've been quite lucky that even though they're not shooting very well from three-point land, neither is Manhattan. Right. Manhattan is shooting just about as poorly statistically from three-point land as Fordham is. So I think when you consider all those things together, I really think all it takes for Fordham in this second half is a cleaner, more slowed down brand. Now, it's not slowing down to making themselves uncompetitive. They need to keep Manhattan on their toes.
Right.
But a lot of mistakes made in transition so far in this first half, with turnovers, with forcing up shots too quickly. I don't think you're seeing enough distribution of scoring. It's been majority Jaffe Medor and Jackie Johnson. So if they can spread the floor a little more and distribute their scoring a little better, I think that's going to work wonders for them. But I think in the second half, really all they need to do is just be more on their game, because 32-28, I don't really think the score reflects a lot of the mistakes that Fordham made in that first half. And that's a lucky position to be in. That's a good position to be in. And that shows that they did the other things right. They did the little things right. Jackie Johnson was able to heat up as we headed towards the half. He was able to, sort of find his footing. So I think in the second half, we just need to see, a cleaner, more complete brand of basketball from these Fordham Rams, which they've proven to us that they can do. They've beat, they get a nice win against Seton Hall a couple games ago, then a dominant win against Binghamton last week. They can play good basketball. So I think this second half, we're going to see this game unfold, and I think it should be a good one. But that's going to just about wrap it up for the one-on-one halftime report. The score at the half, 32-28, Manhattan Jaspers. We got plenty of second half basketball to give you guys at home, but we will send it back to the Draddy Gymnasium with Nick Guzman and Chaz McAdams.
This is John Mary Tripp from Fordham Men's Basketball. You can catch all of our games on 90.7 FM and the WFUV Sports YouTube page. And make sure to fill the hill this season as we celebrate 100 years in the Rose Hill Gym. WFUV is the home of Fordham basketball. Go Rams.
Welcome back inside the Draddy Gym in the Bronx. Nick Guzman here alongside Chaz McAdams. Manhattan College with a 4-point lead over the Rams at the halftime break, 32-28. Chaz, for Fordham, a really uneven first half, shooting just 10 of 33 from the field. That's 30%. Their offense doesn't look great. There's been some defensive mistakes as well, and they're only down by 4.
Exactly. You know what I mean? That's the silver lining. You got to look at it with, if you're Fordham, again, you're counting your blessings that Manhattan has not been able to capitalize on all your, Manhattan is 2 for 11 from 3 right now. Fordham 5 for 18. So this isn't exactly a battle of pure efficiency on either end. And I think Fordham, again, just getting better looks, getting in the flow of the offense more, locking in on defense mentally. I think physically they're there. They're diving on the loose balls. They're able to, be in the right position. But mentally, it's just the blown coverages are going to add up. And that's how you go down 4 to a team like Manhattan. So I think Fordham, if they just got mentally right in that locker room, there's no reason why they can't they can't take away a big W here at the Draddy Gym.
And Chaz, we weren't in the locker room with this Fordham team just moments ago, but you feel like Keith Urgo was probably pretty irate at the effort from his team in the first half. They grew into it as it went along, but not at all the start that the Rams would have wanted, trying to build off back-to-back wins against Seton Hall and then Binghamton. And then when you look at the non-conference schedule as a whole, it's a chance for Fordham to really stack up some wins. They've got this game, then Tuesday against Georgian Court at home, Friday home against Drexel before they head down to Florida to face Penn State and then either Clemson or San Francisco. But right now, this game and the next 2 is a chance to maybe put together a little 5-game winning streak going down to Florida. But this is a game you have to secure, even though it is a rivalry game against the Manhattan team that it was never going to be easy. But in terms of the talent disparity, this is a game that Fordham should win on paper.
Yeah, definitely. But I think if you're the Rams, it's the next 20 minutes of basketball, right?
Yep.
Just get out of the Draddy Gym with a W, and then we talk about Georgian Court tomorrow, because there's no reason they need to be in this position right now. I wish we were in the position to talk about Max Miller and Jamison O'Toole able to get in the game, because that's the position where a lot of the Fordham faithful thought they were going to be at this point in the game. They are not there right now. So Fordham needs to play 20 minutes of Rams basketball that's getting in the elite press, that's making sure we're executing on the offense, and that's capitalizing on all the mistakes. I said 2 for 11 before. 2 for 11 from 3 and up 4 versus Manhattan is not a place that you can be if you're Fordham and looking to have a successful A-10 season.
But it's not all thunder and lightning for these Rams. Jaffe Medor with 11 points, on 4 of 8 shooting, 3 of 4 from deep. Chaz, Jaffe struggled so much in each of the first 3 games this season. Came in today shooting just 18.5% from the field, averaging 7 points. He was 0 for 8 from 3 heading into this game. Now he's knocked down 3 triples, and maybe Jaffe looks like he's back offensively.
Yeah, I mean, you loved it. That's the bright spot. That's the one bright spot. And if it's going to be Jaffe Medor, it's going to be Jaffe Medor. And you leave him out there and you play him 20 minutes. Because there is no way that you are even close to in this game without him playing so efficiently. Because if I'm Keith Urgo, my mentality is, again, I always talk about that 3-headed monster. Because any of them can go off offensively at any point. So you kind of just have to bide your time until one of them starts to get going. Again, we saw Jackie Johnson a little bit at the end of the half able to do it. But it's really been the Jaffe Medor game on both ends. You saw him wrap up at the end, almost hit that statement dunk that we were talking about. I love what I'm seeing from Zach Riley, too. A lot of energy from him. But there's a definite level of frustration from these Rams that I hope turns into quick, fast break buckets and not tilt and emotional basketball that ends up costing them this game in the Draddy Gym, in the Battle of the Bronx.
And Medor leads the way for Fordham with 11 points. Behind him, it's Jackie Johnson with 10 on 4 of 10, shooting 1 of 5 from 3. Not quite the explosive game, or the efficient game, rather, we saw from Jackie against Binghamton. But at any moment, as we saw towards the back end of that first half, he can really come alive and impact the game. But it seems like, Chaz, every positive thing that Fordham does offensively runs through Jackie Johnson pretty much.
Definitely. I mean, he is a big draw. He's got a lot of on-court gravity because of his ability to create on the ball. And he loves that little hezzy cross move where he goes across the key, left to right, right to left, whatever you may please. And he just gets a nice little floater off the glass. That's how we beat the Pirates at the Walsh Gym. Me and you had the pleasure of watching that live. So Jackie Johnson is definitely the offensive nucleus of this team. But I think in this sense, in this second half, he's going to be more useful as a smokescreen. If you're Jackie Johnson, you hit your little hezzy that you like to hit. You pound the ball inside as hard as you can. Collapse the defense, and then you kick it out to Jaffe Medor. Maybe Matt Zona will get heated up. 0 for 3 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3 so far. Unfortunately, from the big man out of Rockland County. And if you're Keith Urgo, you're just looking for, again, gelling, cohesion, chemistry on both sides of the ball, looking for a Rams win.
It's going to be Fordham possession as we start the second half here for Manhattan. Fraser Roxborough with 8 points leading the way, followed closely by Will Sidnor with 7. As you mentioned, Chaz, the Jaspers as a team shooting just 2 for 11 from deep. And a lot of those have been open looks. And a lot of those misses are the reason why Fordham are within 4 in this one. But for Fordham, it's going to be the same 5 that started the game to start the second half. Richardson, Johnson, Medor, Zona, and Ramad Dean. It's a game that last season Fordham won 93-61 in the Battle of the Bronx at the Rose Hill Gym. Jaffe Medor led the way for the Rams with 16 points in that one. So far, he's Fordham's leading scorer tonight as well.
No Devin Dangans out there to start for the Jaspers.
Will Richardson will inbound for Fordham to Jaffe Medor in the backcourt. 32-28 Manhattan as we get underway here in the second half. Medor for Zona at the top of the key. The handoff on the perimeter for Will Richardson. Gets inside. Richardson to the corner. Johnson's 3. He buries it. Huge triple to start the half for Jackie Johnson. Fordham within 1. And immediately they come in this full court press. Winston watched closely by Medor. Now the Rams will retreat. Winston across the timeline. Kicked out to the far side wing. That's Bender. Working against Jackie Johnson. Bender spins away on the perimeter, gets inside on Zona. The righty lay won't go. Offensive rebound loose. Zona fighting for it with Gilliard, and that's going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow will stay here with Manhattan.
Looking for an offensive foul there on Bender on that left wing, really wrapping up Jackie Johnson, who's playing some tight defense, forcing him outside. Possession arrow in favor of the Jaspers, but Again, great team defense out there, especially out of 1-5 in Matt Zona. Sorry, 2-4, Matt Zona.
Bender will inbound underneath the basket for Manhattan. Flips it in towards Gilliard. Straight away here, Robinson. The feed inside. Beautiful pass towards Will Sidnor, and he finishes. 34-31 Manhattan. A minute gone by here in the second half. Medor feeds Zona at the top of the key for the Rams. Another handoff on the perimeter for Johnson. Johnson pushed out to this near side wing for Medor. The screen up high from Zona. Medor lost the handle. He's double teamed. That's going to be a foul called against Winston. Got the arm of Jaffe Medor.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, no contest there. Just, again, some more offensive cohesion. 3-point game. Looking to capitalize. You've got the ball in the right position. You got to score here.
Will Richardson to inbound just to the left of us in the front court. 34-31 Manhattan, 18:49 to go in the second half. Richardson drawing a little bit with Shaquille Bender. Medor kicked out to the far side wing for Jackie Johnson. Johnson for Dean. He'll drive. Dean, the lefty layup, can't get the roll. Rebound by Manhattan. Back the other way comes Winston. Winston, the bounce pass down low. Beautiful feed for Bender, who gets up and finishes. 36-31 Manhattan. 18:25 to go in the second half. Lead back to 5. Johnson up high for Richardson. Spins away from Bender. Richardson inside with the right hand. Gets the roll off back iron. Beautiful play from Will Richardson. It's a 3-point game here. And a technical foul called on Shaquille Bender, I think.
It's looking like offsetting.
Offsetting on both Bender and Richardson. Mentioned they were jawing at each other on the inbounds play just moments ago in front of us. And it's going to be offsetting Tex, it looks like.
Offsetting Tex, and I mean, you're blessed that it's offsetting. Will Richardson making that bucket and definitely had something to say to Bender. Bender's response probably is what ignited the whole thing, and you're just blessed. You're blessed that that's an offsetting, because if you get a Tech in that position, even though you're a junior, Will Richardson, that is untenable. You know what I mean? But, yeah, if someone's talking to you, talk back a little bit. Nothing wrong with it.
And Will's going to check out of the game here for Josh Rivera. As Richardson got that ball at the Manhattan logo, Bender went in for the steal. Richardson was able to spin away and get to the lane and get the finish. But offsetting Tex on Bender and Richardson. It's a 3-point game here. The inbound, Medor aggressively goes in on Winston and gets called for the foul. That's something Keith Ergo talked about when I talked to him the other day on Friday. It was about knowing when to be aggressive in those moments when you're pressing. A foul you didn't need to take there from Jaffe.
Yeah, 2-2 still on foul, so keeping it even.
Winston will inbound and gets it right back. 2 minutes gone by here in the second half. Manhattan 36, Fordham 33. Winston to the right of the Jasper logo. For Sidner, up high against Rivera. Back to Winston, gets to the lane. Straight away, Sidner, he'll pop the triple, and he buries it. Will Sidnor knocks it down. 39-33 Manhattan. They're up 6 here with Jaffe Medor in the front court for the Rams. 9 points now for Sidnor on 4 of 6 shooting. Johnson straight away for the Rams for Josh Rivera. Straight away for Zona, the handoff on the far side for Johnson. Flips it inside for Zona's got the positioning and gets the finish with the right hand. 39-35. In the backcourt, it's Winston. Medor close to him.
Jaffe looking to get low, make him give him the ball.
Winston at the Manhattan logo, feeds ahead for Sidnor. Pass Zona, got the step, gets the finish, and the foul. Will Sidnor, the freshman, so impressive. 12 points for him now, and he'll go to the line for one more.
And this aggressive defense is so hard to find the balance, because a lot of the times Ergo's having guys go deny ball in that half-court defense, and we've seen so many times that if you're going deny ball, facing up on your guy, you're so much easier to get sealed off and have a Jasper open look at the basket. So you got to find the balance. You got to know when to give, when to take.
So after that blow-by from Sidnor, he misses the free throw. Timbila tips it to Dean, and Fordham take a hit through Johnson. Timbila in the game for Zona. Medor open for 3 in transition, off front rim and out. Timbila tipped it into the Fordham bench. Last touch off of Abdu. It's going to be Manhattan basketball.
Got to take those shots. I told you, those Jackie Johnson shots that you think are the ones that sometimes go in. I know I'm getting flustered because it's so hard to justify, but then when those shots go in, Nick Guzman, it's a whole different ball game.
It's 41-35 Manhattan here, 16:52 to go in the second half. Fordham with their pressure, they'll retreat here. Winston pushing the pace into the front court, looking to go all the way. Winston, the scoop layup, couldn't get the roll. Rebound by Jaffe Mador. Back the other way for the Rams. Johnson wide open on the wing. His triple short. Jackie flies in for the board, gets it. Underneath, Johnson can't get the roll on the second chance. Sidnor the rebound. And Winston will settle things down for the Jaspers. 16:30 to go in the second half. Manhattan by 6. Winston at the Manhattan logo. Push to this near side wing for Dinkins. The screen up high from Robinson. Sidnor at the top of the key against Timbila. Sidnor will pop the triple, and he knocks it down again. Will Sidnor. Another three. It's 44-35 Manhattan. Fordham with no answer for Sidnor. He's got 17. At the Manhattan logo, it's Jaffe Mador. The feed for Ramad Dean. Dean at the free throw line, turns the ball over. The other way comes Gilliard against Johnson. Gilliard finishes with the underhand leg. It's 46-35 Manhattan. The Jaspers lead by 11, under 16 to go in this first half.
Yeah, and I mean, Nick Guzman, that was a much longer 4 minutes of basketball than the first 4 minutes of the first half. And that run by Manhattan is just so impressive. What a great play out there from Will Sidnor, the freshman number 9.
So with 15:49 to go in the second half, it's Manhattan by 11. They lead Fordham 46-35. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey everyone, I'm Chris Persianen.
And I'm Will Grant.
And we're two of the hosts for WFUV's very own basketball podcast, Pick and Pod.
Tune in weekly for updates on our takes of the latest around the NBA and exclusive insight from our very own Knicks and Nets beat reporters.
We'll have you covered on everything from all of the NBA's latest drama we know and love,
to debating all year long which team will get to lift that golden Larry O'Brien in June.
Don't miss a beat from the hardwood on WFUV's Pick and Pod.
Welcome back inside the Draddy Gymnasium. Manhattan out to a 46-35 lead with 15:49 to go in the second half. The Jaspers on a 7-0 run. Chaz Fordham entered this half down by 4. Jackie Johnson hit that triple to get it within 1. But Manhattan, led mainly by Will Sidnor, got this lead back up to 11.
Yeah, I mean, Will Sidnor just an absolute X factor out there. I don't think those 2 threes were in the scouting report too much. Hasn't shot great from beyond the arc so far this season. But if Will Sidnor's hitting threes, you got some problems if you're a Ram faithful.
It's 46-35 Manhattan. Fordham with their work cut out for them on the road in the Battle of the Bronx, a game that on paper the Rams probably should win, but it's been the Jaspers,
a lot of game left,
the better of the two teams. Still 15:49 to go. Fordham will inbound in the backcourt. As you said, Chaz, still a lot of game left, and Fordham with enough firepower on offense to get themselves back into this one. But it's going to take a big effort here down the stretch.
Massive. This next 3 minutes before the under 12, this next little chunk of basketball is everything for the Fordham Rams. You have to get it in single digits here. You can't let Manhattan find an offensive rhythm.
Fordham's 5, Richardson, Mador, Rivera, Timbila, and Johnson. Mador hands off for Jackie Johnson on the far side. Push to this near side now for Will Richardson. Josh Rivera working down low in the paint. Rivera drives using that body. Can't quite get the roll. Timbila fighting for the board. He gets it, and a jump ball is the call. Timbila tied up with Wesley Robinson in the lane.
Jump ball there. A lot of body contact for a jump ball. Oh, and now it's the under 16
And
media.
now it's the under 16 media. Keith Ergo called the timeout to try to stop the bleeding before. So it's 15:28 to go in this second half. It's Manhattan 46, Fordham 35. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Mike Breen, WFUV class of 1983. WFUV is the flagship station of Fordham Athletics with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to Saturday one-on-one. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
Welcome back inside the Draddy Gymnasium. Manhattan still with a 46-35 lead over Fordham. 15:28 to go in this second half. And Chaz, for Fordham, they're shooting just 31% from the field, 13 of 41. Offensively, it's been rough, but defensively, too. They've had trouble stopping Will Sidnor and really getting any momentum from continuous stops on defense.
Yeah, there's never any, basketball's a game of runs, right? That's what everyone says. And there really hasn't been a time where Fordham's been in control. That time is now, if that time is ever going to happen.
So Fordham coming out of this media timeout will inbound underneath the basket in the front court through Josh Rivera. The Rams come into this game at 2-1 following wins against Binghamton and Seton Hall. Looking to make it 3 straight, but they have their work cut out for them here in the second half as they chase a win here in the Battle of the Bronx. 115th time these two teams have faced off, dating back to the 1911-1912 season. A historic matchup here in this part of New York. Rivera set to inbound underneath, flips up towards Jackie Johnson. Johnson drives. Johnson with the left hand, high off the glass. He gets the roll. A huge bucket from Jackie Johnson. Fordham within 9. The pressure here in the backcourt. In towards Gilliard. Up ahead, loose ball. Who's that off of as it goes out of bounds? That's a turnover. It's Fordham basketball. Jackie Johnson got the basket, then with the active hands, and Fordham will take possession.
Definitely a great play for Fordham there. This is the time. This is when you have to capitalize. This is what basketball wins are made of, when you take your opportunity and grab it.
Richardson to inbound just to the left of us in the front court. Gets it into Josh Rivera at the top of the key. Rivera driving down low. Handoff outside Will Richardson. Richardson will pop the triple off front rim and out. Timbila went up for the board. It's going to be a foul against Manhattan, I believe. Yep, foul on Robinson. And Fordham will take possession here.
Under the basket.
Under the basket. 15:01 to go here in the second half. Fordham down by 9.
These are the moments. Like, again, you're gifted an extra possession here. Didn't go the way you wanted it. For Keith Ergo's squad, this one has to.
Richardson to inbound. Flips it up for the slam for Josh Rivera off the heel and out. Almost a highlight reel dunk from Josh Rivera. Couldn't get it to go. It bounces out, and Manhattan have possession here the other way in the front court through Dinkins. The handoff up high for Gilliard. Gilliard for Winston on the perimeter. Pushed out to the corner. Dinkins tries the 3. He gets it to go, and the foul. Johnson whistled for the foul. He got a piece of the hand and a chance for a 4-point play from Devin Dinkins. Man, what a swing of momentum. 49-37 Manhattan, 14:40 to go in the second half. Rivera almost with the highlight reel slam on one end, and Dinkins with a potential 4-point play on the other.
The pendulum is moving, Nick Guzman. And again, I said Devin Dinkins, not that much of an offensive factor out there in the first half, but that play was everything for the Jaspers.
Dinkins completes the 4-point play. It's a 13-point Manhattan lead with 14:30 to go in the second half. Richardson to Johnson straight away. Screen up high from Abdou Timbila. Johnson, his pass deflected, stolen away by Fraser Roxborough. The other way come the Jaspers. Winston commanding the offense. Another turnover here for Fordham in a spot where they couldn't afford it. Winston up high for Dinkins. Another handoff on the perimeter for Gilliard, working against Zach Riley. Winston circling around. Winston, the step back from mid-range, got some separation, shot off the heel. Riley able to secure the loose ball. Zach Riley the other way for the Rams. Ahead for Johnson on the far side wing. Johnson feeds the post for Josh Rivera against Winston. Rivera gets inside and throws it down. That dunk goes for Josh Rivera. It's an 11-point game with 13:40 to go in the second half. But immediately Manhattan able to break the press. Gilliard for Winston, and Fordham once again will retreat. Into the front court, watched closely by Josh Rivera. Winston to the near side wing for Sidnor. Sidnor out to the far side wing. Roxborough gets inside on Timbila. Roxborough, the fade, blocked away by Abdu. Loose ball on the baseline. Jackie trying to save it. Last touch off of Fordham, it's deemed, and the Jaspers will keep it. Looked like that ball hit Roxborough last.
Literally just looked like Roxborough he wasn't able to get a hand all over it and pushed it out.
There's 4 seconds on the shot clock here for the Jaspers. Wow. They'll inbound the ball underneath.
Winston. This is the play, right? Again, another opportunity you have to grab.
Fordham down by 11, need every stop they can get. Shot clock down to 4 here as Winston will inbound. Flipped up to Sidnor. He's wide open from deep. Sidnor the miss. Fordham catch a break. Richardson the other way for the Rams. Wheel drives inside. Richardson with the right hand can't get it to go. Abdu the rebound. Abdu puts it back up and in. Fordham back within 9. Under 13 to go in the second half. Winston ahead to Sidnor. Again for Winston, who will retreat to the perimeter. 50-41 Manhattan.
Josh Gallagher always trying to set up the offense there.
Roxborough looking to hand off. He does. Towards the basket, the finish from Messiah Gilliard. Fordham getting confused on the perimeter. The lead back up to 11 for the Jaspers. Jaffe Medor into the front court for the Rams. Fordham need to start chipping into this deficit. Rivera back for Medor on this near side wing. They feed the post for Rivera. Lost the handle momentarily, gets it back. Rivera spinning the lane. The righty hook shot off the rim and out. Timbila the offensive board. He keeps the possession alive, and a foul called against Will Sidnor on the floor.
Yeah, some early ones here for Sidnor, but he was in no foul trouble in that first half. 0 for him so far. So that you can afford to take those if you're Manhattan as he checks out. Again, Fordham has to take the opportunities they're given with these extra possessions, with these fouls that they're drawing late into the shot clock.
Rivera gets it into Jaffe Medor. Medor, the drive. Medor fakes, takes the contact, puts it up. That shot no good. Rebound loose, comes to Richardson on the perimeter. Keeps the possession alive. Josh Rivera driving towards the baseline. Kicks back out up top. Will Richardson will try the 3 off the heel and out. Nothing falling for Will Richardson as Dinkins secures the rebound. Into the front court here from Jaden Winston. 11:37 to go in the second half. The Jaspers lead Fordham by 11. Gilliard kicked out to the far side wing. Dinkins straight away. He'll try the triple over Rivera, in and out. Timbila couldn't grab the board. Put back no good as well. Zach Riley with the rebound. Riley into the front court for the Rams. Jaffe Medor. Zach Riley up top. Josh Rivera. Abdu Timbila straight away. Hand off to the far side wing. Medor thought about a 3. He'll drive to the lane. Medor again absorbs the contact. Can't get the lay to go. Timbila the offensive board. It comes now to Riley. Riley out to the corner. The triple from Richardson. That one goes. A huge 3 for Will Richardson. It's 52-44 Manhattan. In the backcourt here, it's Dinkins. Advances the ball across the timeline. Dinkins at the Manhattan logo.
Dinkins slow, methodical out there.
Roxborough straight away against Timbila. Push towards Winston, the near side wing. Drives inside, took a bump from Medor. That's going to be a foul on Jaffe. With 10:31 to go in the second half. Manhattan 52, Fordham 44. We'll send it back to our Rose Hill studios for the one-on-one scoreboard with Sam Ortiz.
Scoreboard.
For college football, we have number 17 Clemson versus Pittsburgh play tomorrow. The Tigers and Panthers have a record of 7-2. You can catch that rivalry at 12 p.m. For men's hoops, number 20 Florida versus Florida State. This in-state battle, Florida taking the lead with a score of 87-74. Women's hoops, we're heading down south with Texas A&M versus number 15 West Virginia taking the lead with a score of 47-31. Back to the NBA, Nets and Knicks go head-to-head with a score of 45-40. Knicks taking the lead. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Sam Ortiz.
Back here inside the Draddy Gymnasium, Manhattan with a 52-44 lead over Fordham with 10:31 to go in the second half. Nick Guzman here alongside Chaz McAdams. Chaz, a mysterious number 12, just checked into the game for Manhattan with no name on the back of his jersey. He's not showing up on the live stats either, and he's not on the roster.
He's a ghost.
He's a ghost, but that's what we're dealing with here at the Draddy Gym. Fordham down by 8. Getting towards crunch time here a little bit. You felt okay about this deficit maybe 7-8 minutes ago, but now suddenly we're almost under 10 to go here in the second half, and Fordham still with some work to do to chip away.
Again, there's just, it's so clear, the blown coverages, the missed shots, letting Manhattan get whatever they want, really. It's a Division I team. They're going to score if you leave them open, so I definitely need to see more effort on not letting shooters be able to shoot. The second chance points are brutal for the Rams. We have to box out better if we're Fordham faithful. And there's just a definite sense that Fordham came into this game not on the balls of their feet, not ready to play. They saw Manhattan on the schedule. Friday night's an off game. And I think this might be a little bit of a wake-up call that you haven't proven anything, right? Seton Hall, whatever. They just lost to Hofstra, right, on the island. So there's a lot of ways that this season could go wrong left in non-conference. And so you don't want to repeat of last year, so you've got to capitalize on the momentum. You can't lose these bye games. Fordham's got to step up to the plate and really make a play here.
52-44 Jaspers, 10:31 to go in the second half. Jaden Winston at the free throw line as we come out of this media timeout.
Yeah, number 12. No idea.
I got no idea.
I think I saw, it might be Elijah Curry. I saw him wearing number 6 on his warm-up. So it could be Elijah Curry.
Maybe something happened to his jersey. It's Winston. The first free throw is good.
Called Elijah Curry.
To get the lead up to 9 for the Jaspers. For Fordham, Josh Rivera really struggling shooting the ball, just 1 for 8. Will Richardson 2 for 9. Winston's second free throw good as well. That lead right back up to 10. 10:30 to go in the second half. Will Richardson into the front court for the Jaspers. Richardson for Matt Zona. Zona backing down, looking for an option out towards Johnson on the far side wing. Johnson, kick to Richardson, down low for Zona. Zona can't finish with the right hand, an awkward looking shot. Rebound by the Jaspers. The other way is Dinkins on the far side wing. Dinkins spins against Johnson, gets inside towards Roxborough. Took a bump from Zona. He finishes anyway. Fraser Roxborough gets around Matt Zona. It's a 12-point Manhattan lead. 9:53 to go in the second half. Will Richardson up ahead for the Rams. For Matt Zona. Zona. Bounce pass to the far side wing. Richardson feeds Zona inside, working on 2 defenders. Can't get the finish. The shot no good. Dinkins gets the board. Zach Riley commits the foul. And that's going to be Manhattan basketball. Fordham coming out of the media timeout, not looking good on offense. 2 misses from Zona.
There's just a lot of struggles as Abdul Simbila checks into the game. The Rams need more offensive cohesion if they're hoping to put any kind of dent. At this point, we're not talking win the game. We're talking make it a close one.
I believe that is Elijah Curry wearing the number 12 now. Not sure why he changed shirts, but it's Curry out there for the Jaspers. Winston to Dinkins. And Manhattan will cross the timeline. Fordham's backcourt pressure nowhere near as effective in this game against the Jaspers as it was against Binghamton on Tuesday. Winston at the Manhattan logo. Out to the far side wing, that's Bender. Straight away, Winston, pushed back to Bender. Lightning quick passing, open down low is Curry. Off his foot, Riley to Johnson and Fordham back the other way. Richardson gets inside. Riley's open in the corner. He'll try the triple off the heel and out. Timbila trying to get the board. He tipped it. It's out of bounds on the baseline. Manhattan basketball, just nothing falling for Fordham, Chaz.
Yeah, they just can't catch a break. Lid on the rim kind of situation. It's looking all mental out there for the Rams. They didn't really tighten up as much as they needed to in that halftime, and it might cost them the game.
They're shooting under 31% from the field as a team. That's not going to get it done. Fordham again here in this zone look, which we saw in the first half. Straight away, it's Winston against Riley. Winston drives inside, pulls up the floater, off the heel, doesn't get the roll. Roxborough fighting for the board. Ramad Dean comes away with it. Riley ahead for Fordham. Now they got to find a way to put the ball in the basket. Johnson on this near side wing. The screen up top from Dean. Jackie double teamed outside for Timbila. Timbila will drive. Timbila spins, a little awkward looking, gets inside, but gets the finish. The lead back down to 10. 8:10 to go in the second half. Winston across the timeline in no hurry. Dinkin straight away, pushed out to Sidnor on that far side. That's Bender rather. This is Dinkins now straight away. Back for Bender. Dinkins gets inside to the baseline. Curry stolen away by Zach Riley. Beautiful anticipation. Riley driving ahead. Riley can't get the finish, but he's fouled. 2 shots coming for Zach Riley, and a positive sequence there for the Rams as we hit the under 8 media timeout. 7:43 to go in the second half. Manhattan by 10. They lead the Rams 56-46. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Nick Guzman here.
And I'm James Burley.
We're the hosts of FUV FC, WFUV's very own soccer podcast.
Tune in weekly as we break down everything there is to know in the world of soccer.
From the Champions League to the international game to Major League Soccer, we'll have you covered all over the pitch of the beautiful game.
You won't want to miss it. With a rotating group of hosts and beat reporters, FUVFC is your source for all things soccer, football, or whatever you want to call it.
If it's about the beautiful game, we're cutting it up on FUVFC.
FUVFC is a production of WFUV Sports.
Nick Guzman and Chaz McAdams back here inside the Draddy Gymnasium in the Bronx. Manhattan with a 56-46 lead over the Rams. 7:45 to go in this second half. Chaz, a big disparity in this one. The paint points, 34 paint points for Manhattan, just 18 for the Rams.
Yeah, that can't happen. You know what I mean? You have the A-10 preseason defensive first-team center, and you're giving up 34 paint points to a MACC. That kind of max team. That just can't, that's not tenable. Man, there's way too many easy looks inside. The paint touches are crazy. There has to be a better defensive scheme to where Fordham can prevent Manhattan. Again, Fordham's at their best when they're making teams look uncomfortable. The only players on the court that look uncomfortable right now are the 5 draped in maroon.
56-46 Manhattan, 7:45 to go in the second half. Fordham as a team shooting just 32% from the field. That's not going to get it done in a game like this. They've also turned the ball over 9 times as a unit. And for the Rams here, crunch time here, under 8 minutes to go. Not a game you want to drop to Manhattan team that you blew out by 30 a year ago.
Well, it's interesting. And the turnover specifically, only 4 in the first half. So you already more than double with 7:43 to go. As Auckland's own Zach Riley gets to the line. Again, he's been a bright spot for the Rams too defensively. There's just such a lack of I keep repeating myself, Nick, but the problems don't get fixed. It's just a lack of cohesion offensively and defensively. I think it's the main problem for the Rams.
And this will be Fordham's just their 5th and 6th free throw attempts of the game coming here from Zach Riley. You mentioned they've been struggling getting inside, getting those paint points. And as a result, they haven't been getting to the line either. But 2 shots coming for Riley. Every basket so crucial here with the Rams down by 10. First shot from Riley is perfect.
He's so poised
to cut that lead down to 9. A 4-year player here, Zach Riley, one of the captains this year. Tied a career high with 11 points last time out against Binghamton. He rattles home the second as well, so it's Manhattan by 8. 7:43 to go in the second half. Winston to Dinkins. Fordham with some backcourt pressure here. Winston can cross the timeline for the Jaspers. To Dinkins to the right of the Jasper logo. In no hurry here. Winston again straight away. 10 on the shot clock. Winston attacks. The feed inside. Sidnor gets the roll. Wide open. Will Sidnor inside. 58-48 Manhattan.
That secondary dump's been there all day for the Jaspers. All day.
Johnson pushes out to this near side wing for Zach Riley. Riley out to the far side for Johnson. He'll try a long 3. They need that. It's no good. And they'll watch it go out of bounds on the sideline. Last touch off Johnson on that shot. Manhattan basketball. Dinkins in the backcourt. All it's been is one drive to penetrate and then a dump off, and it's been there all game long for Manhattan.
So comfortable for the Jaspers out there. They really are showing a lot of offensive excellence, I will say that.
Winston straight away. There's 6:45 to go in the second half. The Jaspers lead by 10. Kick to the corner. Dinkins thought about a 3. Instead feeds for Gilliard. The 3. That's no good from Sidnor. And a foul call down low against the Rams. Much to the delight of Manhattan head coach John Gallagher in that green suit. 1-and-1 coming for Manhattan. The foul goes against Ramadeen.
Yeah. Again, I call this kind of basketball untenable. It's just offense and defense that is not sustainable through 40 minutes of excellence. And I think that a symptom of it is happening right here. And there's just no way that you can look at me and tell me that this Fordham team is playing their best basketball right now.
They're on both sides of the ball, definitely not. I mean, shooting just 31%. And defensively, it's been too easy for Manhattan. Luckily, Robinson misses the front half of the one-on-one. Richardson secures the rebound. Dean the other way for the Rams. Still a 10-point Manhattan lead. Dean the handoff to Jaffe Medor on the perimeter. Fordham needs scores any way they can get him. Medor to Ramadeen. The feed inside for Timbila. Has a step blocked away from behind by Wesley Robinson. Looked like a surefire dunk for Timbila. Robinson swats it away. And it's been kind of the theme of the game for Fordham. Still a 10-point Manhattan lead, under 6 to go in the second half. Dinkins straight away here for Jaden Winston. Winston on the perimeter. Timbila watches him. The feed inside. Open again is Sidnor. A foul called against the Rams, and Will Sidnor will go to the line. Whether it's been zone or man, whatever the look has been for Fordham defensively, too much space for Manhattan down low.
I've seen a 3-2. I've seen a 1-3-1.
They've tried it all.
I've seen man. They're throwing everything but the kitchen sink out there. And I would too, as Sidnor gets to the line. Again, it's so simple. Just go into more of a drop coverage on those defensive possessions where you're getting beat every single time when you double. I know this team has built itself on being able to blitz ball screens and make offenses uncomfortable. Clearly that's not happening tonight. So you got to go under more screens. You have to play more reserved. I said it before, poised and just calm defense. Make them give you the ball rather than trying to go out there and take it.
And even though the press was super effective in the aggressive defense against Binghamton, in the second half, it didn't really work as well. They were able to break it, get some open looks, and Fordham fouled too much in that game as well, as Sidnor knocks down the first free throw to take him up to 20 points on the night. But for the Rams, defensively, when they've been in that zone, all it's taken is a dribble drive from a guard, whether it's Dinkins or whether it's Winston, and a dump off to a big. And they've had an easy basket down low.
Every time.
Sidnor goes 2 for 2 from the line. 21 points for the freshman. An impressive outing from him. Manhattan leads Fordham 60-48 with 5:48 to go in the second half. Desperation time now for Fordham. Jaffe Medor to the right of the Manhattan logo. Medor, the dribble drive. Kicks out to the perimeter for Josh Rivera. Out to the far side wing for Ramad Dean. Pushed up top again for Will Richardson. Richardson drives, lost the handle, wild shot. Gets called for the foul on Jaden Winston. So 2 shots coming for Will Richardson.
Seems like a lot on Winston so far this game, who's been a real defensive spark plug for the Jaspers. Looking to get him in foul trouble could be a key to a Rams comeback, but they are down hopefully 10 after these Will Richardson free throws.
Fordham, if you are looking for a bright spot, 5 of 6 from the line so far.
Right.
And if we're looking at the free throws as a bright spot, something else has gone drastically wrong. Richardson, first free throw is good. The lead down to 11. Will struggling again from the field in this one. 2 of 9 shooting, 1 of 5 from 3 for 7 points. Fordham need every point they can get here down the stretch. Second free throw good as well from Will. It's back to 10. Now Fordham will ramp up their backcourt pressure. Winston looking for an option, gets it in there to Robinson. The handoff again for Winston and immediately into the front court. Manhattan have figured out how to break that backcourt pressure.
Yeah, instantly.
Jaden Winston at the Jasper logo.
Eating clock right now.
5:15 to go in the second half. Winston against Rivera. Shot clock down to 10. Winston circles to the perimeter. On the baseline now. Kick out to the near side wing for Dinkins against Medor. Got him in the air, and Dinkins draws the foul. Smart play there from Devin Dinkins. Got Jaffe up, and then leaned in and got the contact.
Looking for a travel before the foul there from the officiating crew. Saw that jump stop. Didn't look like he got both feet in there in time. Maybe dragged one a little bit. But easier call, definitely. A foul on Jaffe Medor. Pretty cut and dry there.
So free throws coming here for Devin Dinkins. First one is good to put the lead back up to 11 with exactly 5 minutes to go on the clock. Dinkins attended actually the same high school as Keith Ergo, Gonzala College High School. Transfer from George Mason, has also played this Fordham team before in the Atlantic 10. Second shot from Dinkins, good as well. The lead back up to 12. Now under 5 to go for the Rams. Time running out on Fordham in the Battle of the Bronx. The high screen from Timbila. The feed inside from Richardson. He's called for the travel. Keith Ergo's irate. Looked like Timbila might have got tripped up in the lane. It's a travel on Abdu.
He got the ball out of there before he hit the ground. That's a call that I have not seen before. I thought it would have been an offensive foul maybe on Abdu. A little reckless there in the paint on Dinkins, but a travel. Nick Guzman, not something I was sat on my bingo card.
Tough call against the Rams, and immediately the Jaspers break the press. In transition, Gilliard is fouled on the jump shot from mid-range. He'll go to the line again, and Fordham now can't get a stop without fouling. Manhattan, in 2 or 3 passes, have broken through that backcourt pressure every single time.
Yeah, without fail, and I think that maybe it's time. It's what you've won games with for the Rams, but if you're looking for turnovers caused, I don't think that's in the wheelhouse tonight. 4:38 left, down 12. I think, again, I said before, you go for a more reserved defense to where you go for a shot contest rather than a steal or a block, and maybe you crawl back into this game.
It seems like every time Manhattan break that pressure, Fordham are scrambling on defense, trying to find their man, and Manhattan every time able to get the open guy. First free throw is good from Messiah Gilliard. JUCO transfer from Blinn College in Texas. Gilliard, second one goes as well. 64-50 Manhattan. They lead Fordham by 14 in the Battle of the Bronx. There's 4:38 to go in the second half. And barring a miracle here, seems like time is going to run out on the Rams. Richardson, again the screen up high from Timbila. Richardson's 3, needed that one to go. It's no good, off the heel. Just nothing falling from Richardson, nothing falling for the Rams in general. Shooting 31% from the field. Winston, the handoff up high for Bender. And now Dinkins, again the Jaspers in no rush. Winston, Dean chases in the double team with Johnson. They find Robinson, Dinkins, the open man in the corner. The pull-up jumper, that's an air ball way off from Bender. The rebound comes to Johnson. Under 4 to go. Jackie the other way, drives inside, took the contact, no shot. No basket, even though it went in. It'll be Fordham basketball as we come out of this media timeout. There's 3:50 to go in the second half. It's Manhattan 64, Fordham 50. We'll send it back to our Rose Hill studios for the one-on-one scoreboard with Sam Ortiz.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Back to the NBA, Nets and Knicks at halftime. They go head-to-head. Knicks are taking the lead with a score of 68-59. Now for some women's hoops, we're heading down to Texas A&M versus number 15 West Virginia, powering through with a score of 66-43 at the end of regulation. Men's hoops, number 20 Florida versus Florida State's final efforts. Florida takes the win with a score of 87-74. Now finally for some college football, number 25 Tulane versus Navy go head-to-head at 12 p.m. tomorrow. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Sam Ortiz.
Nick Guzman here alongside Chaz McAdams in the Draddy Gymnasium. 3:53 to go in the second half in the Battle of the Bronx. Chaz, Manhattan 64, Fordham 50. The Rams trail by 14. In what has been a really uneven game from Fordham, really sloppy from start to finish.
Yeah, it's normally, again, Fordham has won their games by making teams uncomfortable. And Manhattan looks all too comfortable, no matter the defense that Fordham throws out. So I'll be interested to get a coach's perspective on that after the game. I mean, a Fordham team this skilled, with Jackie Johnson on the team, who knows? 3:50 left.
It would take a miracle at this point.
I don't know about a miracle, Nick.
14 under 4.
Talk to me at 2 minutes for a miracle. I mean, 3 threes, and it's a 5-point game. Wow, 3 threes, that's a 5-point game. Yeah, it might be a miracle.
Well, Fordham 7 of 27 from deep in this one, shooting a shade under 26%.
Ugh.
The shot's just not falling. They've gotten some open looks here in the second half on jumpers, and just they're not going, whether it's Richardson, whether it's Johnson, Medora in the second half. Jaffe has struggled in the second half here. Hasn't scored, still at 11 points.
Yeah.
Jackie Johnson leading the way with 15, but it's on 6 of 15 shooting.
Right.
So for the Rams, just nothing really clicking on offense, and defensively trying to maintain that ragged pressure that caused Binghamton and Seton Hall so many problems. But Manhattan obviously did their homework in breaking that press.
It looks like Keith Ergo might have to not go back to the drawing board on the press, but get some more variations in there because it's so successful. So you don't want to abandon it completely, but you have to retool it a little bit.
First free throw in and out from Johnson. The rebound can't be secured off Dean. It went off his face. Nothing going right for Manhattan, or for Fordham rather. Manhattan with the ball in the front court. Jaden Winston to Dinkins on the near side wing. Almost a comedy of errors in this one for Fordham. Dinkins on the near side wing. Fordham now in a double team up top, but Dinkins, they get through the press easily. That's going to be a triple on the far side wing, and it's canned by Shaquille Bender. 67-50 Manhattan. They're blowing out the Rams in the Battle of the Bronx.
It looks like it.
Jackie Johnson at the Manhattan logo gets inside. The easy righty scoop layup gets it to go. A quick timeout called by Keith Ergo, who's angry at Will Richardson and the whole team in general with 3:09 to go in this one. Now the comeback looking even more unlikely.
Yeah, I mean, that three again, you saw the double there from Dean and Rivera, and Dinkins able to just get the pass out of it. And then I think the way Manhattan's been able to get out of those doubles is they swing a skip pass weak side so that even when you have your backup defender, that third guy, to back up the double, he's already, the offensive player being Dinkins this time, or Winston rather, has already swung it to the other side, and then you're running 3-on-2 basketball for the Jaspers. So there's just a definite sense that something needs to change because the Jaspers found the Achilles heel.
Manhattan have certainly figured out this Fordham defense.
Jackie's shooting, right?
Did they call a foul on that
And
layup?
one?
It's going to be an and one. The Jasper.
No basket?
See, on the scoreboard, they counted the basket.
Yeah. It's just Manhattan ball.
Yeah, I didn't think there was a foul call.
Yeah, I was very interested.
He was waiting at the free throw line as if it was.
Yeah.
I mean, fake it till you make it type situation. Manhattan with the inbound, Fordham's full court pressure. Immediately they break through. Winston got the feedback from Robinson, the quick give and go.
Trying to eat some clock here. They didn't want to get those quick buckets.
Winston will eat some clock up top. Credit head coach John Gallagher, though, for figuring out a way to make this Fordham press look so ordinary. 2:50 to go in the second half. Winston hands off to the near side wing. Bender up high with the double, gets past the double team. Sidnor gets to the lane. The floater over Timbila off front rim, and Abdu able to grab the board. Jackie Johnson the other way. Quickly head to Will Richardson. Will fire the three off the heel and out. Ramad Dean keeps the possession alive. Dean up high again. Richardson will try another triple. That one won't go either. Richardson can't get anything to fall, and you can see how deflated Will Richardson looks at the three-point line right now as the foul's called against Fordham down low on Abdu Timbila.
Just
open looks.
Words of John Rothstein, the epitome of brutality. And I think we're going to see a tweet from him later tonight about this game. If everything went wrong, you know what I mean? Terrible, no good, very bad day for the Rams. I guess you love an early non-con wake-up call, trying to find the silver lining
This
here,
is a
Nick
big-time
Guzman,
wake-up call.
because you got Georgian court on Tuesday. You cannot lose that game. You cannot lose that game. And then it's Drexel, and then you're immediately going to Florida to face Penn State, Clemson, and or San Francisco. So, getting a wake-up call that your press and your defense and your offense have Achilles heels that are treatable is good to have this early rather than in the middle of non-con when there's too much time to change.
Jackie Johnson makes the layup for Fordham. It's now 68-54 Jaspers. Robinson went 1 for 2 at the line on the other end. 2:11 to go in this second half. This one all but over with the 14-point lead for Manhattan.
This is miracle time. This is miracle time.
Considering the Jaspers got blown away at the Rose Hill Gym last year, 93-61.
Shout out to Sixth Borough.
Manhattan student section been loud in this one, referring to themselves as the Sixth Borough. Winston will call the timeout as he couldn't find somebody to inbound with, and the Jaspers will talk it over. But on the Manhattan side of things, what a win for them. For head coach John Gallagher, winning in the Battle of the Bronx, a series that they have the slight 59-55 edge coming into tonight, but getting back on top of Fordham, a team from the MAC that had an awful season last year, winning just 7 games, going 7-23, 4-16 in the MAC. Gallagher now in his second year in charge. Looks like a much improved Manhattan team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. John Gallagher really coached these guys up for what it looks like. Some of you don't see a lot these days. A lot of returners, you know what I mean? Which is honestly, unfortunately, a symptom of losing programs in the NIL era. So what you're looking at is a team that's been playing together for at least a year. The only transfer is really Denkins out of George Mason.
But the impact freshman, too. Will Sidnor, 21 points in this one, 8 of 13 shooting. Had a double-double against Mercy. So athletic, product of the Patrick School in New Jersey. Guy who had offers from schools like Seton Hall and Rhode Island. He chose to come to Manhattan. Sidnor with the pressure from Fordham in the backcourt, a double team. Rivera clawed that one away. It's going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow favors Manhattan. Now the aggressive suicide press in motion for Fordham. They need steals at this point.
Don't let the pass get off.
2:07 to go in the second half. 68-54 Manhattan. Jaden Winston to inbound. Following the jump ball. Again, no separation. Winston gets into Robinson. Robinson double team, ahead for Winston. Fordham gets the backcourt steal. Johnson inside, Rivera with the lay. It's down to 12, 1:58 to go. Again, the pressure from Fordham. Jackie Johnson called for the foul. And free throws coming here for Manhattan.
Yeah, that is definitely unfortunate for Jackie Johnson as he picked up his fourth?
Third, I believe.
Third on the night. Right. Thank you to the announcer. So you have something to give there. But, again, the bonus, they've been shooting that well from the line. You don't hate that foul. Definitely not an intentional one. I think Jackie was just looking to not allow the guys to get open. But, again, this is it's miracle time. It's miracle time, Nick Guzman, in the Draddy gym. So let's see what these Rams are made of.
Devin Dinkins will shoot the free throws for Manhattan. First one, no good, off front iron. All you can pray for at this point is some missed free throws and some quick baskets on the other end. We haven't seen any of the freshmen from Fordham in this game, whether that's Ryan Pettis or Jaden Smith. And a tight rotation from Keith Ergo. Second free throw rattles home from Dinkins, who will now check out of the game for the Jaspers. Ramad Dean will inbound in the backcourt. 1:56 on the clock. Manhattan 69, Fordham 56. The screen up top from Zona. Johnson double teamed on the perimeter. Ramad Dean with it now on the near side wing. Pushes back up for Johnson. It'll take a long triple. That's an air ball. Much to the delight of the sixth row. That ball goes out of bounds on the baseline. Jackie not quite with that necessary touch from deep in this one.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look for a quick, high point value score there. So I'm not mad at the shot. Seen Jackie make it before. Fortunately, not even hitting any iron.
2 of 9 from deep in this one for Jackie Johnson. The press continues from the Rams. Robinson double teamed by Rivera in zone. That's a turnover. Medor down low. Jaffe Medor lays it up and in. So Fordham getting some steals now, but they get it into Dinkins with Manhattan up by 11, under 1:30 to go. Bender for Dinkins. More pressure from the Rams and a foul called up high. Not sure if they got Rivera on it.
Yeah.
More free throws coming for Devin Dinkins. 1:21 on the clock in the second half.
Yeah, if you're going to lose, make them earn it at the line.
And the double bonus now is Manhattan. For Fordham, looking like it's going to be a loss here in the Battle of the Bronx as Dinkins makes his first free throw. They drop to 2-2 on the year. And the Jaspers would improve to 2-1. Riley checks in for Josh Rivera. 1 timeout remaining for the Rams, 2 for the Jaspers. Dinkins gets it to go.
Offense, defense here from John Gallagher.
Will Sidnor will check back into the game for the Jaspers. Jackie Johnson quickly ahead for the Rams. 1:15 to go in this one. The screen up top from Zona. Johnson gets inside. The tough layup won't go. Winston the rebound. He'll escape past Zona. Winston into the front court, but pressure from Medor. Gilliard down low. Open. That's going to be a triple on the far side. Rattles around and out. Bender couldn't get it to go. Under a minute to go. Medor behind the back in transition, gets to the lane. He's fouled by Shaquille Bender. And 2 shots coming for Jaffe Medor. It's 71-58 Manhattan with 50 seconds to go in the second half.
Only 1 timeout for Coach Keith Ergo, though. So we talk about seconds being minutes in college basketball. Don't know if you have the facilities for that in this situation. But again, just looking for some quick steals and some quick scores. Make it interesting for the Rams. But this one looks all but wrapped up in favor of the Jaspers.
2 shots coming for Medor. Certainly not the outcome the Rams envisioned when they walked into the Draddy gym a few hours ago. First shot from Medor is good. But as a team, when you're shooting under 33% from the field, 23% from deep, it's not a recipe for success on the offensive end. It's been a collective struggle. Rivera, 2 for 9. Zona, 1 for 6. Second shot no good from Jaffe Medor. More pressure in the backcourt from the Rams. Stepped on the baseline. It's going to be a turnover. Robinson stepped on the baseline. Fordham basketball underneath. 12-point game, 47 seconds to go. They've got some turnovers once the suicide press has gone into fruition. Dean flips into Jaffe Medor. Medor for Jackie Johnson straight away. Johnson down low for Zona. Zona working in the post, got Sidner up in the air, got it to go, and one. Big finish there from Matt Zona. It's 71-61. Fordham can get this to within single digits with 41 seconds to go.
Nick, this team's making me feel something.
This would be an all-time comeback.
Oh, my God.
Maybe one of the greatest in college basketball history. It's still a long way to go for the Rams.
Yes.
But a chance to complete the three-point play here for Matt Zona. Zona completes the three-point play, 71-62. Ryan Pettis into the game for the Rams. Matt Zona checking out. Fordham running extra small here.
We're going to burn some fouls, I think, here for RP.
In the backcourt to inbound, it's Jaden Winston. Pettis into the game for the first time, the freshman from East Palo Alto, California. Into Robinson. Pettis went for the steal. They're able to advance to the front court. Open up ahead is Sidnor. He slams it down. Will Sidnor, 23 points for him. Lead back up to 11. There's 30 seconds to go. Riley's handoff from Medor is stolen. They go to the ground with it. That'll be a jump ball, Fordham basketball. Some pushing and shoving in that pile. Winston fired up for the Jaspers. And if there are any hopes of a miracle comeback, I think that slam from Will Sidnor put the lid on it. The referee's in the middle of the two teams here. A little bit of a skirmish on that loose ball.
Yeah.
28.5 to go in this one. The referees converse. Maybe if they'll assess some fouls or some technical fouls in this one.
The officials will
review.
They're going to review it.
For if it's a jump in favor of the Rams. Could be massive. Come out, hit a three.
Hit another three.
So you come out, hit a three, down 8. Steal, 3, down 5. Call it 20 seconds left. Steal, foul, they make 1. You're down 6. Hit another 3. Steal, foul, they hit 1. You're down 4. 3, steal, 2-pointer, you win the game.
I think they call those mental gymnastics, Chaz. It's going to take a miracle here with Manhattan up 11. We'll see what the call is coming out of this review.
If they even get possession.
Under 30 seconds to go. But for Fordham, I mean, in this game, shooting 33.8% from the field. That number's gone up thanks to some baskets real close after some steals in the backcourt in these last 2 minutes. The sixth borough getting loud. The Manhattan fans, the Manhattan student section. What a win this would be for them. Referees still conversing at midcourt, trying to figure out where to place the ball in this situation. For the Rams, they've got Georgian Court coming on Tuesday. A game, you don't want to call it a must-win, but it is a must-win.
It's a must-dominate.
They must dominate against Georgian Court. The referees comes over here to the broadcasters. I believe the call was a dead ball foul. With 2 shots coming. I think he's dead ball technical foul is the call against Wesley Robinson of Manhattan. So technical free throws coming for Jackie Johnson. 2 shots and possession for the Rams. That's a break. Jackie makes the first free throw. It's a 10-point game. If you needed a miracle, it started with that.
Is this what dreams are made of?
Jackie makes the first one. The second one good as well. It's a 9-point game.
And then possession.
73-64. And possession coming for the Rams.
So again, down 9. You hit a 3. Foul. They go 1 for 2. You're down. At that point, you're down 8. You're down 7. Hit a 3. There's a lot of mental
gymnastics. At this point, you just got to make the basket.
You just got to make the basket.
And set up your press on defense in order to foul. Zach Riley will inbound just to the left of the Fordham bench in the front court. Fordham down by 9, under 30 seconds to go. Riley into Jaffe Medor. Medor will try the long triple. He got it! Jaffe Medor makes the 3. It's all of a sudden a 6-point game with 25.8 to go. Final timeout called by Keith Ergo. Oh my goodness, Jazz.
Wow. Jaffe Medor. Oh my gosh. giving this game life, giving us a little heartbeat here.
That's
maybe some palpitations, borderline.
That's 5 points with only about a second coming off the clock.
Which is what you need. I told you, Nick Guzman, this is what miracles are made of. Who knows? Two threes away from overtime.
Fordham have managed to get those steals in the backcourt. They've got a couple of them in these last couple of minutes. These last 3 minutes, Chaz, have taken about an hour.
But it's what
you love to see in college basketball. The Rams hanging tough in this game. It's hard to believe it's a 6-point game. With some missed free throws from Manhattan, a technical foul on the loose ball, a made three from Jaffe Medor. Bing, bang, bosh, it's a 6-point game.
This is everything. Again, this team's making me feel something. But, yeah, those 5 points with a second coming off the clock might be everything.
And even with, it says something that Fordham have come back in this game to be within 6. Yes, Manhattan have had some mental errors, but they're in a position now to make a miracle happen. Manhattan with the basketball, though, to inbound. Fordham ideally need a steal, but at the very least need to get a foul quickly just to extend this game with 25 seconds to go. It's going to be Winston to inbound in the backcourt underneath his own basket. Ramad Dean providing the on-ball pressure. Winston looking to inbound, gets it in towards Dinkins, accelerates past Riley, the pass up ahead. They get it towards Sidnor, and Riley will foul. 2 shots coming for Will Sidnor. Fordham tried for the steal, but not the worst play. Sidnor just 2 for 5 from the line today.
Could miss both. Could miss both. We've seen him do it before.
Sidnor, the star man in this one, the freshman so far for Manhattan. 23 points on 9 of 14 shooting, also 3 of 7 from deep. 2 massive free throws with 21.5 to go in the second half. Sidnor makes the first one. Back to a 7-point game, a 3-possession game more importantly. Second shot coming here from Sidnor. Second one off back iron and out. No timeouts for the Rams. They got to go. There's under 20 to go. Jaffe Medor into the front court. Medor looking to drive. Will pop the triple. Jaffe gets it to go. There's 12.4 to go. Fordham trail by 4. Manhattan looking to inbound underneath it. Timeout taken by Jaden Winston. Jaffe Medor, Tracy McGrady, down the stretch, making those 2 3-pointers. It's a 4-point game with 12.4 on the clock. Oh my goodness.
This is why Jaffe's here. A lot of people, including myself, you question that role that he's at with 3 guards. But Jaffe Medor is a shot maker at heart. He's a shot maker, Nick Guzman. There are not a lot of guys in the A-10, in New York City basketball, in mid-major as a whole, that can take that step back with that level of conviction and have confidence that it will go in.
Make it a 20-point night for Jaffe Medor, a season high, 7 of 14 shooting, 5 of 7 from 3.
5 of 7? Jaffe!
12.4 on the clock coming out of this Manhattan timeout. They still have 1 remaining. They'll inbound underneath. All of a sudden, Fordham with a chance to make the miracle happen here at the Draddy Gymnasium. Jaden Winston to inbound underneath the basket. Ramad Dean providing the pressure. We're set to go. 12.4 on the clock. Fordham down by 4. Winston looking to inbound. Winston gets it in and got the handoff back past Ramad Dean. Dean fouls him. A necessary foul. And Winston will go to the free throw line. Fordham almost got the steal on that quick handoff on the inbounds. Winston able to escape, and he'll shoot 2 from the line.
Being able to get that foul in the back is like that was very important to get that foul off so early because of Winston was moving at a mile a minute. Ramad able to just grab some jersey there for the foul.
Winston 2 for 2 from the line so far. Fordham at this point with 9.2 on the clock. Needs some misses here. First shot coming from Winston. First one's good. 75-70. George, 75-70 Manhattan. Winston, second free throw coming. That one good as well. It's a 6-point game, 9.2 to go. 8 to go. Medor into the front court. Medor will pull up from deep. Medor another triple. He got it to go again. It's a 3-point game. 4 seconds to go. Manhattan looking to inbound. They get it in. Medor fouls. He's fouled out of the game with 2.7 to go. It's going to take a miracle. You're going to need 2 missed free throws here. And then a full court heave almost. Medor needed to foul. But Jaffe Medor, 9 points on back-to-back-to-back triples.
6 for 8.
Pouring his whole heart into this one down the stretch to give Fordham a chance. Fordham are going to need 2 misses from Dinkins and then a full court heave. There's no timeouts. The clock's going to be running, and they're going to need him to miss both.
Yeah, he's got to miss both. He makes one and it's over. But the resilience that Fordham's shown down the stretch, very admirable stretching out this game. Again, they're really good at making, they're at their best when they're making other teams uncomfortable. And I think Manhattan has showed that they are not comfortable down the stretch of a game like this.
First one from Dinkins is good, and that will just about do it. It's a 2-possession game here as John Gallagher calls the timeout. Manhattan's final timeout, 77-73 Jaspers, 2.7 on the clock.
So do you go for a full court pass here? Like almost a football route? Are they going to run Omaha? Their play where they all line up and you go for the 3-point shot with a foul?
Well, if Dinkins makes this free throw, that's about a moot point anyway. Yeah. He's still got another one to come. But for Fordham, and
then if he makes this one, you don't have time to set up a play like that.
For Fordham, it's too little, too late down the stretch. Jaffe Medor coming alive. He was alive in the first half. Didn't do much for the first 16 or so minutes of the second, but
down the stretch
popped 3 threes rather, for 9 points in those last minute really. Fordham's shooting percentage up towards 37% in this one. But Fordham for about 18 minutes of this second half, a full 20 minutes of the first half, so 38 minutes of this game didn't do enough, even though it's been a valiant effort in the last 2 minutes. Dinkins can really ice it with this second free throw. Just 2.7 on the clock. Manhattan leads 77-73. One more shot coming from Dinkins. No timeouts for Fordham. Dinkins, the free throw, rolls in. It's a 5-point game. Almost no chance for the Rams now. Riley inbounds to Richardson. Richardson from half court. That one's good. Will Richardson buries it from half court, but the Rams will lose by 2. 78-76 is your final score. Fordham falls in the Battle of the Bronx.
Yeah, Nick Guzman, this is again, we've said it before, this was a wake-up call and a half for the Fordham Rams. Their ability to show resiliency down the stretch shows me that this is a competent basketball team. This is a basketball team that knows how to win games. They just didn't execute early enough. They got in too big of a hole too early, and it was curtains from there. I think if you're a Fordham faithful, you're looking to see a lot more early execution from the Fordham Rams as John Gallagher celebrates with the student section.
Some of the students on the floor here. John Gallagher in a huddle with them. What a win for Manhattan. And for Fordham, they only lose by 2 on paper, but this game seemed really out of reach for large stretches of this second half. They get back in it with the late threes from Jaffe Medor, the half-court heat from Will Richardson, but not enough for the Rams. We'll be joined in a second by Fordham men's basketball assistant coach Henry Lowe. We're joined here now with Fordham men's basketball assistant coach Henry Lowe. Coach, in the Battle of the Bronx, not the result you guys wanted, 78-76 your defeat. In your eyes, what went wrong?
Credit to Manhattan, Coach Gallagher and his staff, their players. They played tough from the tip. They dive on the floor, dive on loose balls. That's the kind of team that we want to be. They brought it. I think we brought it most of the game, but they were tough. Credit to them, a great game plan. They did what it took to win the game.
Obviously, the press showing a lot of success early in the season. It seemed like Coach Gallagher was able to find some counters for it early. How do you think that's going to impact the game plan going for the rest of the season?
we'll watch the film. We'll figure it out. I think our guys they played hard. They did a good job to execute what we want to do, and I think they had a couple balls go their way. Not the result we wanted, but good learning experience.
Yeah, obviously not the result you wanted, but a bright spot, Jaffe Medor with 23 points, really coming in alive down the stretch there. He struggled in the first 3 games of the season, but how big is it if this is going to be the Jaffe you guys are going to have this season?
Absolutely. For him to get it going like that, we're proud of him. He's been working hard. No surprises with that. I think over the course of the season, he'll continue to get better as we will, as well as the team.
And obviously the team as a whole, even though this is a game you come in expecting a different result and wanting a different result, how important do you think it is for this team to show as much resilience as they did going down the stretch in a game where it looked like all but curtains for a while?
A lot of positives towards the end of the stretch. Again, credit to Coach Gallagher, his staff, their players. They did a great job. I think our guys played hard. We fought to the end. That's something we always pride ourselves on, regardless of the result, win or lose. But credit to them. I think it'll be a good learning experience. Just keep getting better.
Coach Lowe, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
So final score from the Draddy Gymnasium. It's Manhattan 78, Fordham 76. As we'll wrap things up here on site. Chaz, not the result. Obviously, Fordham won in the Battle of the Bronx. They fall, but just your assessment, number one, of the performance.
Yeah, and there are no moral victories at the Rose Hill Gym and in this Fordham program, and I think we all know that. But it is, again, I hate to overuse and beat a dead horse, wake-up call and a half for the Fordham Rams. And if you're going to have a wake-up call, you want your alarm to be set for 5:30, not 8:30. You want a wake-up call early. So Fordham with an opportunity to learn from this experience, and I'm sure the feeling of watching the guys in green and white celebrate on their account is going to be motivation enough to make Georgian Court regret ever coming to the Bronx.
John Gallagher celebrating at center court with the Manhattan fans. You got to give him credit. Devised a brilliant game plan to get past that Fordham press, be efficient on offense, and shut the Rams down on defense. But that will just about do it from myself and Chaz here from the Draddy Gymnasium. Final score, Manhattan 78, Fordham 76. We'll send it back to our Rose Hill studios for the one-on-one postgame with Jack Warner.
The one-on-one post-game report.
Well, until the two squads meet again, it is the Manhattan Jaspers who hereby own the Bronx. The Jaspers defeat the Fordham Rams 78-76 to round out the 115th meeting of the Battle of the Bronx. I'm Jack Warner, joined by Samantha Ortiz. Thank you for joining us for the one-on-one post-game show. That's a tough one. And I think what makes it tougher is that you had that kind of realization point late in the second half that this was a game that was likely not going Fordham's way. They're getting outworked on the boards and in the paint. They can't stay out of foul trouble. Not really playing the disciplined game that we were hoping that they would when we were talking about it at halftime. But they go on quite the run to close the game. Allow me to cite to the notebook that I had to write everything down on.
Go right ahead.
Jaffe Medor with 9 points in 20 seconds. Once they were in desperation mode, fouling mode, and having to go up and down the court trying to just trigger something, he hits a 3 with 25 seconds to go, and that makes it a 6-point game. He hits another 3 with 12 seconds to go to make it a 4-point game. And then he hits another 3 with 5 seconds to go to make it a 3-point game. And then just to add, I guess, insult to injury, Will Richardson hitting a half-court dagger at the buzzer to make this a 2-point loss instead of a 5-point loss. We talked about how, the score being close at halftime didn't feel like maybe the most proper reflection because Fordham kind of played pretty poorly, right?
Yeah.
I think what we saw in this final score is almost the inverse of that. It's like, wow, this ended up a really close game, but Fordham didn't really lose this game by 2 points.
I completely agree. It was a good game. The last half, it was a great game. Off the air, I said that it seemed like procrastination, but you changed my mindset. It wasn't procrastination. I really like what you said. It was impatientness. I think the jumper from Johnson worked wonders, but even when we look at it, like Richardson's final 3-pointer was great, but if we were consistent and if we had just been smooth and not have a sloppy start to finish, I think the numbers would have been different, or the outcome would have been different for sure.
Right, and you can't take credit away from Manhattan, because as much as you want to talk about, like, I do believe in a way Fordham beat themselves this evening. I do think that is the case, but 4 players in double figures tonight for the Manhattan Jaspers. This was the Will Sidnor game.
Mm-hmm.
Will Sidnor, the 6'8", 210-pound freshman, an absolute unit with 24 points. He was fresh off a double-double against Mercy earlier in the week. 24 points for him tonight. You had Fraser Roxburgh, 10 points. You had Messiah Gilliard, 10 points. You had Devin Dinkins, 11 points. They distributed their scoring. They were able to figure things out offensively, and I think it's a two-way street, in the sense that yes, they were on point and were able to distribute their scoring, but they also just figured Fordham out. Fordham had a full court press that's worked for them, in the last couple games. They broke right through it. Was absolutely weaving through it the entire second half. You had lots of, again, just action in the paint and running the boards, where you were curious when was that defensive presence going to come in their own paint and at their own basket for Fordham, and you really just never saw it happen. And another big thing, they cashed in on Fordham's mistakes. 15 points off turnovers for Manhattan. So when Fordham coughed the ball up, when Fordham made a bad pass, threw it out of bounds, whatever the case may be, Manhattan was there. And you know what? You can say whatever you want about the mistakes Fordham made tonight and the ways that they shot themselves in the foot tonight. But I think even a good performance, a better performance from Fordham, a cleaner performance for Fordham, they would have had to have shut down these things. And I don't know if I don't know how much different of a result you get, even if Fordham played better.
I completely agree. I mean, even our lovely Nick Guzman said, defense is trying to find their man. And I think the Rams, they just had that open space.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jaspers, they figured it out,
yeah,
like you said. So I think they need to focus on offense and defense and focus on how it's not sustainable, at least for this game.
Yeah, and a very well coached game from John Gallagher. Everyone was saying very nice things about him, and it's true. It was, Manhattan had the correct game plan. They were able to capitalize on Fordham's weaknesses. They were really able to be a thorn in their side tonight. Just looking at the Fordham side of things offensively, Jaffe Medor leading the pack with 23 points. That's a season high for him. I know we're early into the season, but that's obviously a great performance for him to have this early on. Will Richardson in double figures with 12 points, and Jackie Johnson the third with 21 points. So, you saw 3 guys in double figures, but then when you look further down the score sheet, scoring really isn't that distributed. Romad Dean 3 points, Matt Zona 5 points, Zach Riley 2 points, Abdou Simbila 6 points, Josh Rivera 4 points. So you didn't see a whole lot of excellence offensively. I think Chaz hit the nail right on the head. This game is a wake-up call. And honestly, that's a good team. That's a good Manhattan team that they just lost to, that, as I mentioned in the halftime show, is in a very similar position to Fordham. And I think they're a very similar constructed team to Fordham. But I think most of all, the thing to take away from this game is, while it is only the 4th game of the season for Fordham in the non-conference schedule, they just watched basically their only rival. Because Fordham, you think about across the board in Fordham sports, right? The football rivalry is Holy Cross. There's, different rivalries in different sports. That was their rival.
Yeah.
And they just had to watch their fans celebrate, run to the court in happiness and elation because they beat Fordham. That needs to stick with them. I'm not saying it needs to haunt them, but it needs to stick with them, because they got 2 games coming up this week, once against a Georgian court team that obviously there's no excuse not to, handle swiftly, and then a game at the end of the week against Drexel, which is no walk in the park either. So I think there's a right and a wrong way to move forward from this game. I'm confident in a Keith Urgo-led team that they're going to take this the right way.
Awesome.
But that is going to just about do it for the one-on-one post-game report. That'll do it for our coverage of Fordham men's basketball this evening. We had a great time leading you through the halftime show and the post-game show. For tonight, the final score in the Battle of the Bronx, the Manhattan Jaspers defeat the Fordham Rams 78-76. I want to give a special thanks to our sports director at WFUV, Bobby Chaffardini, as well as everyone involved in this evening's broadcast. You can catch your Fordham Rams men's basketball team on Tuesday the 19th when they welcome Georgian Court to the Rose Hill Gym. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. For Nick Guzman and Chaz McAdams on the call, James Burley working the boards, Mary Hannah Gallagher on visuals, and Samantha Ortiz on updates, I am Jack Warner saying so long from the Bronx, and once again, Fordham men's basketball is a production of WFUV Sports. Have a wonderful weekend.